Alright, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to load up the music. I am a professional streamer, you know. You see it right there on the pre-screen. There we go. There we go. Alright, now we're good. Wait a minute. There we go. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Just give me 1 second while I get the rest of this stuff set up. I forgot to double check my bit rate. Well, hopefully the stream is alright. Hopefully the stream quality does not suffer because of my choice of bit rate, but hey. You never know. Alright, let me just turn on streamer mode on Discord because, yeah, there's some discussions going on in the judges Discord, and I'm just like, all right, wait a minute. This is my time now, and I'm the one that needs to be. I don't need these distractions. What I want is most important. I kid, of course. Hey, Ozzy, welcome in. How you doing? Happy Friday to you. All right, now we announce it everywhere. Also, shut up, Ozzy. Don't say it. I know you're going to say it. I know you're about to say it. I'm going to announce it in just a second. There we go. See? You happy now? How are you today, Nova? I am doing fine. That's great. It's great to hear. I didn't even check the Discord today. Did you not? Really? Well, hey, Windrider, how you doing? So I was not going to say anything. Yeah, but you've Pavlov dogged me into, as soon as I see you, I'm just like, wait, did I make the announcement on Discord yet? Also, I just realized that my title is stupid. 2025 Judges Highlights, as if I'm judging the entirety of the year 2025. Hang on. There we go. That makes more sense. Yeah, I kinda did. Sorry for Pavlov dogging your brain. That's alright. Every now and then I just need a reminder that I need to be more professional when it comes to streaming. Okay, maybe I can delete this post before anybody... Excuse me, anybody sees it. Sorry, Ozzy, did you bring in the pollen today? I'm starting, I didn't sneeze all day today, and then I see you, and then suddenly... Bam. Just sneeze. Or maybe that's Windrider. I don't know. Either way, you guys go take a shower. Wash all that pollen off. Alright. There we go. 2025 RPG Maker Jam. RPG Maker Game Judges. Yeah. I can't even read my own tweet. 2025 RPG Maker Game Jam Judges Highlights. There we go. See? I can read. You've developed an allergy? What do you mean developed an allergy? You guys brought it in. I swear you all brought it in. I was doing just fine. I mean, yeah, sure, I had to go outside a little bit earlier today to go grab some food, but I was out for like, what? 10 minutes at most? Come on. Come on. He's developed an allergy to my BS. Nah, if that were the case, I'd be just like sneezing up a storm every time I stream. Nah, I've developed a resistance to it. Oh, right. I have one more place to announce it. Because I'm making the announcement on Itch now. Yeah, imagine that. I'm actually legit now. I have to actually announce on Itch. Because I'm doing something important. And of course, I I screw up the thing. You would think I would have this all planned out beforehand, but whatever. Whatever. Hey, Fortuna, welcome in. Welcome in. How you doing? Okay, part 2 is live now. There we go. Announce it on Itch. So, we'll see how this works out. I wonder, like, okay, so again, I'm probably going to assume that there's going to be a lot of new people in here today, so some of you longtime viewers may roll your eyes at some of the old ground that we're going to be treading here, but I'm not sorry. So, yeah. Again, what's with the caught, Fortuna? I did not do anything. And good night. Well, good night to you too. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Everyone get some sleep after the the deadline submission. We had it was a rough one. I wonder how many people were, like, there were a lot of people that were pushing right up to the last second. Like, almost literally last second. I think the last game that managed to pass through the finish line was actually like 11 seconds before the deadline. It's like, you cannot cut it any closer than that. But that's still wild, though. But we're going to be going through as many as we can tonight. Actually, I have 3 games planned. Okay, so again, let's just start again from the beginning. So for those that are here for the first time, these judges' highlights are not going to be live judging sessions, just like the name would imply. Instead, we are just going to be going through games that I have already played and judged. And we're going to be just checking those out. And those games I've picked specifically because I feel like there's something that we can talk about. You know, sometimes we're talking about them because they did something great. Sometimes I feel like they tried something and sometimes it just didn't work out. And we can kind of talk about them in a way that I think would benefit everybody. Either way, I would like to bring some attention to some games that I judged, and we can see what's going on, what they're trying to do. So again, for those that are not aware, I cannot and will not be giving the actual ratings that I gave, that I put on the. Wow! I cannot talk tonight. What is going on? I was going through like 3 business meetings today. You would think I would know how to English properly, but whatever. But yeah, I'm not going to give you guys the ratings, but I will be giving my opinion. You can probably infer some ratings beyond that, but I'm not actually going to explicitly tell you guys the ratings. My team was watching me stream my last hour of Game Make before the deadline. What? Wait, why did you stream that? Just out of curiosity. That's not something I would think about doing, especially when you're like right up against the deadline, because I'd be like, okay, no, lock in, focus. Like I'd be on forums, or I'd be on messages or Discord with the team rather than being on stream. So just out of curiosity, like why did you want to stream that last hour of I was streaming on Discord? Oh, okay. You mean like not public streaming? Okay, so you were... Gotcha. You know, just because you can't, some people can focus and stream at the same time. Wow, really, Aaron? That's the first message you have in here with that, and that's what you're coming in with? I feel so loved. People can focus and stream at the same time. How in the world? Aaron coming in with fire. Yeah, that's just classic Aaron. Just coming in swinging. Getting no respect around here. None. All right. Give it a few weeks. I'll give you some lessons. Wow. All right. So, yep, there we go. Now we got people. We got some people coming in. You are Love Nova. Only close friends know you well enough to blast out burns like that. Yeah, I guess. We just come and be like, wow, yeah, Nova, I know you very well. That's why I can tell you exactly, precisely, and articulate perfectly why you suck. Because we're friends. That's how true friends are. Yeah. I'm only mean to the people I like. I don't waste my time on people I don't. Thank you? So I should take that with love every time you're mean. Yeah. Oh, you just okay. You think you can just Purple Heart your way out of any situation, huh? All right, I see how it is. I see how it is around here. That's why I know we aren't friends yet, Nova. You have yet to properly insult me. Or maybe my comebacks have been so high level that they just go right over your head. I am on a higher level of intellect, you know. I am closer to world domination than you are. We've already established that. Stop groaning. Stop groaning. I know some of you are. You wish, Nova? I don't wish. I put my plans into action. And that's why I'm closer to world domination than you. I'm glad you felt my eye roll from there. Yeah. Like I told you, higher level intellect. I can tell when you guys are groaning whenever I make a joke. Alright. So, we are gonna... I don't know if... Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started, I guess. So, which one should we do first? Ah, yes, a joke. What do you mean? What do you mean joke in quotes? Are you implying that I'm in fact not very funny? I take exception to that. Is that what we call delusions nowadays? Alright, so... I think we'll start with this one, actually, because I actually meant to get to this one last stream, but we just did not have time. So let's go ahead and start with this one, and then we can call my schedule for last Wednesday fully and completely done. Yeah, I don't have too many to highlight today, mostly because I wasn't able to get through a lot of them between Wednesday and today. So, and the ones I did get through, I didn't really feel the need to highlight. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and... So, yeah, that's why we're going to have... We only have 3 today. And if we get through those 3, then we are going to go ahead and just cut it. So, I know these Friday streams are usually 4 hours, but with the intent of wanting to get through more games, I'm just going to get through the ones that I've wanted to highlight. And once we get done with that, then we're going to go back and... I'm just going to go back and start doing judging off stream. Because for those that were around on Wednesday, you saw the very beginning of the Attack on the Kingdom games. You know why I'm not going to be able to do judging and streaming at the same time. Damn, Nova hates us? Yeah, you got it. I definitely hate every single one of you. That's why I'm streaming these instead of just playing them on my own and then giving feedback. It's because I do it with hate. By the way, Nova, you are using I take exception to that incorrectly. I am in fact lying. You know, Ozzy, to mess with somebody, you have to like wait more than 2 seconds before walking back your offense. Yo, hey Rythane, welcome in. How you doing? What was that? Hey, Funkin' Pong. Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate that. I don't like lying like that, Nova. Then why did you lie in the first place? Hey, so let me guess. You guys were doing some Friday night funkin'? Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I saw you were in earlier, but I was too busy trying to get ready for today. Wow. We were funking on a Friday night. Uh-huh. Alright. Yeah, I was. I was trying to wait for a mod to come out, but didn't. Gotcha. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start the highlights. So, I want to make a couple things clear. One, I've already judged these games, which means that if I come across any game-breaking bugs or other stuff that would disqualify it, except for some obvious stuff, right? I think it's just the game-breaking bugs. So, yeah. If I come across any game-breaking bugs, don't worry. Your game is not disqualified because I've already played it and I've already judged it. So you are fine. The only exception is if I find out that what you had stolen assets, which unfortunately happened last stream. I don't think it was intentional, but yeah, thank you. Shout out to Jean Erico for pointing that out. But yeah, that was unfortunate. But the VOD is up on YouTube now, so you guys can go check it out if you wanted to. Well, after the 2 weeks are done and Twitch decides to delete my VOD here. So now the judging will be preserved forever now. Yeah. So yeah. So if we come across anything disqualifying, like a game-breaking bug, you're fine. I guess just count your blessings that I didn't come across it my first time through. Yeah. Shit stuffy streaming Andy and Lele. Well, alrighty then. I have not. Yeah, I only know Andy and Lele through the memes, and I'm like, Nightbot, no! I forgot we had this weird stuff that we say out of context. Well, this is going to be awkward for all the new people coming in. No, but what freaking context is there to that? I don't remember, Ozzy. I swear I don't remember. Like, the thing is on stream, like, I don't remember half the stuff that I say on here. And that's what makes these out of context quotes even more funny. Like, even if I wanted to, I could not give you the context for, like, most of these. But yeah. So, let's go ahead and get started with the first. I did announce it. Yeah, okay. No more stalling. No more stalling. The first highlight that we have for today. And we start with. Well, I'll be off, Nova. Good luck with the highlight. What do you mean? Wow. You're waiting until we start with the games before you go off. No, Ozzy, you. I can't believe this. Anyway, the first game for today is going to be Axol's Quest. So, we have, like I said, the title screen is a very important part of the game because it is the gateway to the gateway between you and the game. It's the first thing that you're going to see. So, we have something pretty clearly defined here. We have Axol. Well, what people would assume to be Axol, because he's the one in the front. He's the one with the hero pose. And it's his quest, and everyone else is just going to be side characters. No, I wasn't. I just have something else is all. Something more important than this? Yeah, okay. Cool. Do what you gotta do, man. See ya. And I do like how we got some semblance of different characters' personalities just from the title screen, which, you know, you'd be hard-pressed to find that nowadays. Sometimes it's when you're doing your own assets, and sometimes you just want to put in the character portraits and you just put that on the title screen and call it the title screen. It works, but when you have something custom like this, It's a great intro, I think. And also, the other thing to point out, no human cast members. So this is already standing out among the crowd by having an all, what's the word, anthro? All Beastmen cast. They're not really Beastmen, but you know what I mean. But yeah, let's get into it. Our story begins in that land of... I forgot I had to read these out when I highlighted them. Shachimilko. I'm going to call it X. Because I do not want to embarrass myself this much by reading that over and over again. A beautiful tropical region whose inhabitants built their civilization around the Great Lake Shochi. Long ago, this land was ruled by the Mad King Adobe, a mighty sheep who was bent on world domination. I gotta admit, when I first read that, my immersion took a big hit. I know it's probably not the dev's fault, but it's hard for me to read Adobe and then think of anything other than the software suite. It was like, huh. So my brain was like, okay, how is Adobe going to take over the world? Require everyone to get on their subscription service? When revolution arose, Adobe took refuge in a secret underground lab beneath a volcano he named for himself at the center of Lake Shochi. The Mad King's reign ended when a group of heroes stormed his volcanic lair, ending the Great Civil War by taking his life. 50 years later, rumor has it that the Mad King's lost treasure hoard still lies somewhere in the shadow of Mount Adobe. But only the bravest adventurers see fit to travel the deep, in search of the unknown. Admittedly, not the best way to start off a visual adventure like this, but hey, it was short enough that I got over it pretty quickly. Almost there, Lottle. I can see the ground from here. Just hang on a little longer. Alright, we're gonna need to jump it. And as soon as I saw this screen, I was like, alright, this gonna be alright. This game gonna be alright. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, it wasn't just, first off, blinking in the face set. And it wasn't just the mouth moving, because that would have been easy. But no, the entire face kept getting redrawn, and almost like that. I don't know how many people saw Ed, Edd n Eddy as a kid, but like almost that constant motion. I don't know if there's like an actual name for that kind of animation, but yeah. Wait, what? On 3. 1, 2. Ha ha ha. Excellent spelunking, my brother. And you just land right on top of him. Okay. You showed great bravery going ahead of me just now. Look at that. Look at that idle animation. An idle animation. It's like, okay, yeah, you know there was some love put into this. So much so that I'm perfectly willing to overlook the fact that these guys are acting like gravity works when we're clearly underwater. Like gravity works like we're on land. Haha, I just slipped. And there's no swimming in here. You're too humble, Lottle. Remember, you and I are heroes now. When we find the Mad King's treasure, we'll be famous the world over. Do you think we're close? Yes, very close. I can feel it. I did not auto-advance that, by the way. This way, I'm sure of it. Follow me. Good idea, Axol. Use the arrow keys to move, Z to inspect, X to open a menu. Well, too bad. I'm a rebel. I don't use Z. I use space for inspect. Mouse controls. Right click to move, inspect, and left click to open the That's not right. That is the opposite. It's right-click to open the menu and then left-click to move. Anyway, so take a look at this walk animation. You want to talk about games with personality? You don't need several dialogue boxes to convey personality when this walk animation does exactly that. You don't need Axol coming in saying, I'm the hero man. Or, like, I'm the big adventurous one, because you just have this smug little walk cycle to show that. So yeah, great work on that. There's a lot that you can do with custom assets. The beauty about custom assets isn't to make things, isn't just to give your game its own identity. It's to give you ways to convey characters or ways to convey your world without needing dialogue. And this walk cycle does that in droves. Cannot say I'm a big fan of using these auto shadows as like big shadow mapping. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen any instance where auto shadows were appropriately used, because yeah, they are way too blocky, but to this game's credit, I don't want to say it nails it, but they use auto shadows in a pretty effective way. It's a big rock with a good amount of cracks in it, but you're too small to break it. Sounds like we'll be coming back here at some point. Alright, so what do we got going on? Whoops. Turn back, ye who seek the treasure. A dark presence lies in the shadow of Mount Adobe. Gulp. Oh, don't tell me you're scared by that. Some scallywags probably put this here as a bit of trickery. How do you figure that? Well, think about it. If you were trying to throw people off the scent and keep the treasure for yourself, this warning would be one way to do it. Thankfully, I'm far too clever for such sly flammery. That's why you're the leader, Axol. Treasure ho! Let's see what's in here. Sunken barrels, my path obstruct. As Z I press, I bid thee unstuck. Alas, I've wrought a proper mess. But as I leave and return, yon barrels reset. There's a cute little in-universe way to give a tutorial. What a strange poem. I like it. I do too. Lottle. Don't you worry about that. Saying push these barrels around, and if you need to reset it, just leave. Alright. Now, actually, I have a confession to make, guys. This is actually my first time seeing this, because the other way was progress, and for some reason I thought south was going to be progress, and I was wrong. I was trying to explore a little bit more, and I accidentally went on the critical path. So, just something for the devs to make note of. Not that it really matters. Alright, so let's see what we've got going on here. Just get that out of the way. Alright. 25 sand dollars were found. Alright, we have exactly 25. Yes, Lottle, this has to be the place. Adobe's seal. The legends were all true. It's so beautiful. It's giving me bad energy. Are you sensing some dark magic? Yeah, lots of it. It's probably coming from behind that door. But we don't necessarily need to open it. Let's just see what's in that chest and be on our way. Good call, Axol. This is already a fantastic discovery. Not sure why the text effect changed at the very end there. Let's see here. What's in it? I don't know. It's so dark. It's like the inside is just pitch black. Oh no! Finally. Are you the Mad King? Mad King? Is that what they're calling me? Tragic. They never understood my genius, even in death. But you alone found me. Stay back, beast. We don't want anything to do with you. I would thank you to address me with my proper title, King Adobe. Your grace or my liege would also suffice. Axol, what do we do? Axol, the Axolotl, a commoner's name. I should have hoped someone of more noble background would have been my champion, but I like you. Your heart is ripe with ambition. You've become strong to protect your weaker brother. You will make an excellent vessel. Nobody calls my brother weak. Lotl, stand your ground. Let's show this vile creature what we're made of. Okay, if you say so. Well, and you know what else says so? Bezos. Yep. Alright, give me 1 second, because this is actually a pretty good opportunity, because there's something I wanted to bring up here. Just off to the side. I will get to it in just a sec. I will come back and I will show this to you guys in just a second, but right now, what I need to do here, there you are. Alright, I will just leave that be for right now. Alright, yeah, whatever. Let's just keep on going. So, mwaha. Okay, well, how about that, huh? Tutorial fight is the final boss. Okay. The Mad King Adobe is on the attack. Axol, are you sure we're ready for this? Of course I am. I've trained on dummies for months preparing for this adventure. Huh, interesting how Axel's face set just continues to animate. Time to attack. I like this. I like the slow, like the in-universe tutorials. Like, it doesn't tell. A lot of RPG Maker games I played up to this point were all like, okay, press the attack button to use your basic attack. But no, here it's just like, okay, the brothers are talking, and now we have an in-universe explanation or forcing to use the attack that lets you see exactly what it's trying to, let you try it out for yourself. Oh, the thing went away. Okay, whoops, didn't do that. Okay, bye Bezos. And also the fact that it just gives you attack as the only option. So, what happens when you check attack? Look at that. That's the animation that they use. It's just, yeah. There's an animation for the face set, for the battle face. I think that's just so nice. He can deal it, but can he take it? Axol, are you okay? That's a nice little miss animation. Here, I'll heal you with some magic. I don't think that was supposed to happen, actually, because, yeah, my first time through, I actually got hit, and it took off like 70% of Axel's health. So now we have an unnecessary healing magic tutorial. Whoops. Okay, now we're just back to attacking. Okay, and Lotl is a supporter, so he has no real offensive capabilities. But hey, that's fine. Because we have a random buff skill. Okay. Axol, don't forget about the items we brought with us. Alright. And then... yeah, let's just keep doing buffs. You scurvy dog, you. Don't think I'll let my guard down. Hey, Valcrista, welcome in. Has an axolotl 10 out of 10. Yes, it has 2 axolotls. They are brothers. Alright, let's just have everyone guard. He's a tough one, but I'm tougher. Time to show him my special attack. Alright. Flurry of Blades. A simple yet strong attack. Axol swings 2 times and ignores defense. Yeah. And then Waddle, for his part, I guess will continue to buff. There we go. Now Axol got the attack buff that I wanted him to get. He's not going to let up anytime soon, Waddle. Let's go all out. I'm right here with you. We're an unbreakable team. Okay, Axol and Waddle team up to show what the power of brothers can do. Big damage. Yeah. Alright, and then, yeah, just keep supporting. Can we do more teams? Ah, yes, we can. But I think I'll let Waddle do that. So we're just gonna have you do regular attacks and then have Waddle do the team attack. You know, for a final boss, this guy's pretty weak, huh? Who would have thought that the final boss would just be the tutorial this whole time? Wow, Axol just cannot take hits, huh? But hey, that's why he has the supportive brother there. Because they're quite the team together. I won't go down that easily. Oh. Okay. Oof. Enough. That's enough. You may yield now. It's you who needs to yield, fiend. Know when you're bested. I suggest you hand over your treasure, and maybe we'll let you crawl back to your chest in peace. Ha, he finds it so funny his text breaks the text box. You amuse me, Axol. I can wait no longer to inhabit you. Give in. The text is auto-advancing right now. Axol, no. You wretched lowlife, what have you done to him? Okay, you know what? That first laugh that broke the text box, I could understand that, but yeah, this one, yeah, you definitely want to get that checked out. We are the same now, brother. I'm sorry, but I can no longer afford to let you weigh me down. I have work to do. There is so much to see. Axol's quest. Well now. Axol's quest. But Axol just got possessed. And Axol was in the title screen as the main hero, but he's no longer in the picture. You could say that was beyond expectations, couldn't you? Save your game? Yeah, sure, why not? If it wasn't so predictable, sure. Okay, let's be real though, Aaron. I'm pretty sure my lead up was setting you up for that expectation to be thrown out. Cough, cough. Am I on land? Yep, definitely land. Whose hovel is this? It's a basin of water. Nah, I would have figured it out without your very unsubtle hints. This box is entirely empty. Yeah. But you definitely made it quite clear. Also, yeah, there was a lot of auto shadows in that. Yeah, I just have to go back. Yeah, I don't like this use of auto shadow. I'm just going to point that out. Auto shadows have never really looked good to me personally. Granted, I do think this would be easier on the system than a parallax map. But yeah, with as high res as these sprites are, having such low res blocky shadows, that definitely is a hit to. It definitely looks weird to me. Surprisingly, I don't hate this. Are you talking about the auto shadows or just this setup in general? Okay, so let's move forward. Let me just check something. Yeah, the auto shadows. The only thing I don't like is that the furniture is untouched. I think that's because of the auto shadows. Yeah, auto shadows can't cover B level tiles and above. So that's just the risk that you have to take with that. Hello? Ack. Alright, let's just check something here real quick. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about misleading marketing. Because if you look on the game page of Axol's quest... Actually, wait. Look at this really quick. Look at this. Really take it in. Now look at this. Do you notice a difference here? Because I certainly do. That's what I mean about misleading marketing and beyond expectations. I genuinely feel like if you were a player looking at this, looking at this page, you would fully expect Axol to be Axol's quest. But you play the intro and it just immediately goes, nah. To hell with that. In fact, I remember bringing this up to the judges, being like, listen, does marketing affect the experience? Those were Benny's words, but I remember bringing it up, being like, hey, what is going on here? That's some Last of Us 2 level marketing. Last of Us 2 level marketing, Final Fantasy 7 Remake level marketing. And I gotta be honest, that was a bonus for me. I was like, okay, alright, you guys knew what you were doing. You knew exactly what you were doing. And we have... Okay, this one is true. This one is actually, I think, the most honest screenshot in this game, in this whole page. And this one. And this one, I guess. But yeah, here it is. We have a future boss fight. And there's Axol right there. I think this is excellent. And an excellent use of misleading marketing because... I use the term misleading, but it is just a straight up lie. I think there's a difference between misleading marketing and just a straight up lie. Like, okay, listen, I haven't played Rebirth, so shut up if what I'm about to say is completely negated by Rebirth. But I think the whole build-up around Final Fantasy VII Remake was excellent. Because when you sit down, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's going to sit down, when you sit down and actually play Final Fantasy VII Remake. Imagine liking Final Fantasy VII. What's wrong with Final Fantasy VII? Are you talking about the original or the remake? It sucks? Damn. Alright. Yeah, tell us how you really feel, Aaron. No, I don't think it sucks. But even if I do think it sucks, I haven't played the remake because the original is trash. Gotcha. Well, okay. Well, in that case, how do you know that I was gonna like that I said I like Final Fantasy VII? Because I wasn't talking about the original Final Fantasy VII. I was talking about the remake. But yeah, again, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I mean, granted, the fact that it's in this discussion at all is kind of a spoiler. But still, Final Fantasy VII? No. Final Fantasy VII Remake is not the one-to-one remake that it was marketed to be. Fuck it, I'm just gonna spoil it. It's been out for long enough. Sure, it seems that way. It was marketed that way. The public demo made it seem that way. But then when you play it, it's like, oh, wait a minute. You're doing something different. It takes what you thought you knew about the original Final Fantasy VII and then played with that. It's like, and then by the end of Remake, you're like, oh, okay, hang on. This is not going to be the one-to-one retread that we thought it was going to be. But Final Fantasy VII Remake did that without having to straight up lie. At least I think. I haven't looked at all the marketing material recently. I'm just going off of what I remember, what I personally remember seeing in the public demo. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to leave this up here to help bring my point across. Actually, this is really hard to do. This screenshot is way too big. All right, hang on. Yeah, there we go. So, regardless of whether you like the game or not really relevant to the point I'm trying to make here. Because the point I'm trying to make is that you can mislead your audience without having to straight up lie. What we're doing here is straight up lying in Axol's Quest. Understandably lying. Because how can you put in how can you have Axol's Quest without Axol, right? Actually, hang on, let's take a look at this page. This is not something that I normally do here, but yeah, you know what? That would actually, in fact, be impossible to mislead because you're labeling these characters' names right there on the battle screen. Hey, maybe this scene might happen and you just missed it, like a non-critical path, like the non-critical path. Uh-huh. Well, then why don't you give this game a download and see for yourself? I think this game needs more traffic. Anyway, because it's great. But yeah, because I'm boycotting the jam. What? Oh, come on. What are you telling that to a judge for? Like, how am I supposed to take that? Anyway. So I was going to suggest that maybe, like, imply that Axol was the brother and Lotto was not. But then I realized that you gave that game away with the names. Then it kind of makes me wonder, like, do you need the names of these characters? Right? Because we're going to know who these characters all are. And you can identify who they are by their picture. The names are cute, though. They are. They absolutely are. But I'm trying to figure out a way that we can play with the idea of misleading marketing without having to lie to players. because you can have them follow. You can have them follow Lotto, and then until you play the game, you're not even aware of who the brothers are. I mean, yeah, sure, you're gonna find out the second you actually play the game, but you know, the opening twist is given away pretty quickly. So I don't think you have too much to worry about there. But that's still brilliant. This is still a brilliant marketing move. Unfortunately, brilliant marketing moves don't factor into the gameplay, when it comes to rating them as judges. So, unfortunately, the game page misleading and lying to us, while very smart, will not go into the rating of Beyond Expectations. Hey, Canned Dinosaurs, welcome in. You sure it's misleading marketing and not just an alternate path? Dunno, sounds a little harsh to judge like this. I'm sure it is. Unless you guys see the path for yourself and can correct me if I'm wrong, then this is what I'm going to go with. This is the beginning of the game, and the whole point of this game was Axol getting possessed. I cannot imagine any possible path where this would actually happen. I'm just saying, you already admitted to missing a path earlier. The whole plot of this game is to rescue the brother, is to rescue Axol. I cannot imagine any possible scenario where Axol is here. Unless it's a glitch. There didn't seem to be any alternate path in the intro unless it happens later. Maybe it is, you know? In fact, if that were the case, then great. Then I'll be eating my own words here. And I will happily admit that. But remember, as a judge, I can only judge on what I've played. And maybe if it happens later, beyond what I was able to play, then great. But I can only judge what I have played. And this is how I'm gonna judge. What if it's like Bravely, where you play the opening again later, but with both characters? Well then, if that's the case, here's the other problem. This game is much longer than 1 hour. I'm just gonna make that clear. I have not beaten this game. I only got like 1 hour in, and there was plenty more to do, it seemed like. So you could be right. But as a judge, I can only play, and I can only talk about what I played. And as I only played 1 hour, this is what I'm going with. So it might not be a lie. Again, Aaron, if you're going to make that claim, if you're going to try and make that argument, then I would suggest you play the game yourself. I know you said you boycotted the jam, but you know, I can only play what I played. I can only judge what I played. And hey, if I am wrong, I encourage you guys to try the game yourself and then tell me I'm wrong. I'd love to know that I'm wrong. It's not going to affect my rating because I can only judge what I played. Right, but by that argument, anything you don't get to is a lie. I didn't say that. I did not say that. Anything I don't get to, I can't even begin to comment on. I can only comment on what I played. Yeah. So, misleading marketing. I'd like to call it misleading or lying. But it is what it is. Misleading, lying. When you see these screenshots and you get to this part, you cannot tell me that you didn't see that coming. I'm not going to accept that argument. But hey, let us continue on. You never sneak up on me like that. I could have killed you where you stand. Should be where you stood. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Me? Scared? I am Brando, the mightiest warrior of the KC clan. I've devoted my life to protecting the world from evil. Nothing scares me. Okay. I'm the only one in my clan who was brave enough to go looking for Adobe's tomb. I knew it wasn't safe to leave it unprotected. And sure enough, You and your foolhardy brother came gallivanting in and released an evil the likes of which the world has never known. Do you have any idea what you've done? And if it weren't for me pulling you out of there, you'd be fish food by now. I'm sorry. Really, I am. We didn't know. And now my brother is... Your brother is Adobe's puppet now. He escaped into Mount Adobe, to Adobe's secret underground lab, no doubt to rescue his evil experiments. Evil experiments? My sensei, Master Leba, he's the one who sealed Adobe away 50 years ago. He told me about strange scientific and alchemical experiments the Mad King was obsessed with. Adobe thought he could become immortal and conquer the world. Leba told me to let sleeping dogs lie, but the world isn't safe as long as that monster lurks in the depths. I'm going to stop him once and for all. Wait, I'm coming with you. I have to save my brother from that demon. Don't be ridiculous, lizard boy. Of course you're coming with me. Look, I promise I won't hold you back. Wait, what? You heard me. You and your foolish brother are responsible for this mess. You're going to help me clean it up. All right, yeah, let's go. Wait, where are we going? We can't go back to Mount Adobe just yet. Adobe's seal is nigh impenetrable. But only nigh. I've heard tell of someone in the town of Noko, southeast of here, who may know how to break the seal. Who is this person? I don't know, but their name is Teeny. Oh, I can't wait. And they're a ruthless barbarian who butchered hundreds in the Great War. Oh. Fear not, lizard. Just stick close behind and I'll lead us to victory. Adobe won the battle, but we will win the war. Yeah, and get my brother back. Oh yes, that too, if we're lucky. It's Lottle, by the way. Lottle the Axolotl. Duly noted, lizard. But never mind. And now the adventure begins. Without Axol. It's a box of sand. I wonder what that could be. I know it is not a box of sand. By the way, if I fall, use a bird up on me. You seem too weak to fight without me. I don't know what is going on with these scripts, but yeah, it leaves. I like how Brando just wanders around, like he's not just a follower. That's a nice little detail. And the party comes together again when you start moving. That is a great detail. I like that. And now we actually start off, and this is where the level design kind of, I don't want to say opens up, but it gets a bit more. It's not non-linear. It just kind of gives you a lot of alternate routes and more places to collect more stuff, which I always appreciate, especially when it comes to these jam games. Like, there's not a lot of time to be able to make a lot of complex mappings. And yeah, so for the devs to be able to pull this off is very impressive. Oh, okay, it's a big rock with good amount of cracks in it, but you're too small to break it. Well, darn. So yeah, this is basically the... look at Brando, yeah. This is how the battle system works. We have Pounce, high damage, full body strike, Bounce, leap up from above, damage everyone at once. And Need, sharpen your claws to increase critical hit ratio. Really good skills, but let's start off with the primer. We gotta see what our damage output is. Oh, and Brando can just kill on one hit. So, Lottle with all the array of support skills, Brando with an array of offensive skills, but all it took was just one basic attack, and that was the end. Stick to the path. Watch out for sand flea geysers. They will send you flying. Will they now? Wee! That's how that works. doing it again. Look at that. One critical... Oh, boy. One critical hit, and that's enough to knock him out. Which is kind of... I don't want to say... yeah, it's kind of disappointing for, like, the beginning of an area, especially when you're getting a new party member, because I want to use this party member. I want to see how they work. But if all it takes is just winning fights with basic attacks, then I'm not really getting to know these characters as party members, as units. Also, wow, 10 bird ups? How badly do they think we're going to mess up? How difficult does this game get, do you think? There we go. Yeah, now we're doing the little, almost like Warp Points puzzle. Jesterfish. Ah, well, this time you didn't die. Imagine that. There we go. Then again, when you only have 1 month to work on a game, the thing that always gets me is when you try to make your game really challenging. Because I know there are some games that I played in Game Jam that do that. And the end result is the game is challenging, yes, but it also means, you know, myself and I'm willing to bet other judges aren't able to get through and see the rest of what it has to offer. So I always feel like if you want players to see, or especially judges, to see what you have for your game, if you're struggling to balance your game, it might be best to err on the side of ease. Because then players will get through it quicker and then they can see what else you have to offer with your game. Especially for judges, because remember, judges only have to play, only judge what they can play. And we only are required, sorry, not required, we only are expected to play 1 hour of these games. And I mentioned this before, but yeah, this goes on for way longer than 1 hour. So maybe there is a brilliant twist at the very end of it, but the reality is, if we don't get to it, we can't judge it. Which is why I really wanted to keep playing this afterwards, after that hour, but I just couldn't. Oh, well, there we go. Last jam, I did the game was so swingy in difficulty, even up to the last day, so I just nerfed everything across the board last minute to be safe. I mean, yeah, that is the way to do it. Also, really could benefit from letting us know when we learn skills. Because, yeah, sometimes I don't even realize that I get a skill until I see it in the menu. I didn't need to use that skill. I accidentally made my last one too challenging. I severely overestimated people's ability to solve puzzles. Just out of curiosity, how many playtesters did you ask to get through that, Aaron? Because I can definitely see that happening. Yeah, don't get lost. Go down the rope, up the ladder, down the ladder, up the rope. Couldn't be simpler. 6? Wow, really? Huh. And they all got through the puzzle just fine, huh? That is interesting. And I guess it does happen too sometimes. Sorry, I'm late. You're here now, John Erico. That's what matters. That's all that matters. But yeah, I actually had that same problem too with Prayer of the Faithless. I wanted to take more of a hands-off approach when it comes to tutorializing. So I actually didn't put any forced tutorials in the player's face. I gave them a hint that there was going to be a log entry that they can check it out and learn the mechanics there. But when battles come around, I wanted them to just get right into it and just kind of figure it out. And I've mentioned several times on stream how that did not work as I expected. Oh, okay, we can keep going. Yeah, I would go the other route, but the other route leads to a cracked rock, which we've already established we can't break right now. Almost like this game has almost Metroidvania-esque elements where you can get new abilities later. And then you'll have to come back here to get these extra items. I just don't want to miss any of the games. Yeah. Well, you're in luck because we just started this. They did indeed. I took a little over an hour, so I made the tough puzzle optional for the IGMC demo. Gotcha. Okay, so we can go home. The fact that followers walked around is mind-blowing to me. Yeah, it is. For me too. Like this is actually really amazing. What's less amazing is that it seems like I can't tell if the bridge was set as a bush tile or if I'm on top of the trees, which are set as a bush tile. Either way, my feet are translucent, which is not how bridges work, especially bridges that are over all these trees. Yeah. Well, oops. Minor bug. No, does not, wait. Yeah, it's not the bridge. It's the tiles on top of that. Because you see, Lottle's feet are not translucent right now. Only when I go under, on top of the trees do they go, they get weird. At least it's graphical, not actually impacting anything. True. Yeah. Like we said, like the rubric says in the game jam, minor bugs are expected and will not be penalized. This is one of those. I'm just more excited that this is a whole optional area that you didn't have to go through at all. 2 bird ups were found. So they just made this whole area with a bunch of goodies and some extra scenes at the very end. Oh, yeah, here we go. We love goodies. Yes, we do. Yo, what's up? Brando, I wish I had your bravery, but someone has to guard the homestead. I mean, that's got nothing to do with bravery. We all know Master Leba can't protect himself anymore. No, he cannot. I want to be friends with Henderson. Yeah. Be careful out there, brother. I've never left the dojo, but I've heard scary things. Fish who cast spells, rats that climb on each other's shoulders. It's a dangerous world, says the giant with a battle axe. I do not fear danger. I seek it out that I may conquer it. The rats do sound scary, though. Again, I've got a soft spot for expressive faces, and yeah, this Brando is selling me on this. I hear they are weak to barnacles. Barnacles? Whatever could that mean? Brando, you goon. Finally come back home, eh? No, Master Leba, just dropping by. Dropping by? Why, whatever for? Surely you weren't unprepared when you ran recklessly into Adobe's den by yourself. I love the writing in this game is just great. I've always mentioned this before, but I've seen a lot of games that try and put multiple ideas into the same idea into multiple text boxes. This is what happens when you don't do that. It's probably better to have a longer text box if it contains one single idea. And this game understands that. So far, like, all the text here is exactly the way, as long as it needs to be. Because I've seen some games, I played some games off stream, where, for example, these first 2 sentences would be one dialogue box, and the rest of this would be a second one. But no, you keep text, you keep dialogue boxes containing one single idea, and this game understands that. I'll have you know I've recruited an ally now, and together we're going to defeat the Demon King Adobe on our own. All while you and Henderson roll around and lick your own bellies. Still your tongue, young one. I don't care how many allies you have. You're in way over your head. You trained me all my life to defend the land from evil. Now you tell me I'm not ready? The world needs me. Fun fact, this art style is my favorite art style for RPG Maker and how I'd like, or rather hope, my game to look like. Minus the Anthrocats. Okay, so if it's not the Anthrocats, can you elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by art style? Also, what do you mean unless? You know? Have the Anthrocats. If you want the Anthrocats in your game, have the Anthrocats. Don't be a coward. If you want it, don't worry about the public perception. Just put them in. Be like Axol's quest. Put the Anthrocats in. The bright colors and black outlines. Ah, okay, I got you. I got you now. You don't know Adobe like I do. I had 3 times the training you had when I stealed him away, and it still cost me my claws. Maybe that's because you lacked my ferocity. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm not doing that either. It's soft and cartoony and just looks so great. IMO. I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you. If I really had to nitpick, I would say that there are some parts that just aren't as consistent as the rest of them. Like the cliffs seem a little too plain when compared to the leaves here. But honestly, my focus is immediately drawn to the character sprites because they're the ones that are moving even when idle. And I respect the hell out of that. So yeah, that's everything else for me just serves to, it does exactly what it needs to be, is exactly where it needs to be, staying in the background. Yeah, I plan on having idle animations too, but I've been lazy. Well, don't. just don't be lazy. Yeah, it's tickling my brain just right. Yeah. So be it. I can see you have your heart set on this. As he moonwalks into the dojo. Master Leba. Here, take my katana. It may aid you in battle. You got the katana. I don't know what to say. Say nothing. Go with courage. I only pray I have taught you well. Thank you, Master Leba. I will not fail you. I should hope not, but if you do fail, I told you so. Now scram. Alright, and so let's give our... Here we go. 2333. And this, I think, is really cool, because this is that was an entire optional scene. We did not have to do this. This feel for a jam game? I think that's really impressive. Because when you put all that effort into story and cutscenes, because cutscenes are not easy to make. They're not easy to event. So for a jam game, you want to put that right in the faces of players. But nope, this game's like, okay, we'll just have a whole ass optional scene that you don't have to go through. They're so time consuming. Yes, they are. I know this one had minimal movement, but yeah. The fact but that effort still had to be made. And we got a weapon out of it too. We didn't have to get that weapon. Now, granted, Brando was already nearly one-shotting all the enemies up until now. So imagine what we can do now that we have a weapon. 6 hours for 4 minutes. And then it's still broken. Yeah, it sounds about right. I'd love to see what else this person has done. Well, the dev is Cartmart, and you can just look up Axol's Quest on the itch.io page and then just see what else that Cartmart has done. Looks like there are a couple of other games here. So yeah, looks like the dev has done other stuff. So yeah, you guys can go check that out. Hours become like minutes after you get developed long enough. That is what it's called being in a state of flow. And yeah, that is both a blessing and a curse. Axol's Quest, you said. Yes. You got Axolotl Quest. Hey, Ryan, welcome in. Yes, I in fact did get Axolotl quest. Even though this is Axol's quest. Just Axol. And nobody else. Alright, 3 life gems. 3 flasks of mana. I heard this is a long game, around 4 hours. Yep, sounds about right. Yeah, I was not able to get very far in this, which is a shame. But, and yeah, we had a bit. I had a big argument with chat about this earlier. You're like, well, I mean, what do you expect me to do? Like, they knew damn well how long we had to play these games, and they made it. They still made it really long. So I can only judge what I played. Mario. What's Mario? All right, and then we have a couple crabs. Let's go. Yeah, just instant death. And Lottle just has no damage at all. Like, Alright, I'm gonna pretend I know what you're talking about. And say, yes, exactly. Again, I still don't like those auto shadows, because they're so... This is probably just my RPG Maker sense talking. Because I just know these are auto shadows, and I'm like, eh. They're way too blocky. Alright. Go. 2 square. Yeah, that's the risk that you run. Drops a good amount of cracks on it, but you're too small to break it. This is also a good example of the front view you were talking about the other day. The fact they're animated adds a lot. Yep. That is also true. Whoa! Okay, this didn't happen my first time. Yeah, let's get out of that. Oof. Yeah, I think this is... I can't remember if this is MV or MZ. I think that... Yeah, this is MV. So, yeah, there is... If you get too complicated with some animations in MV, that can definitely happen. Maybe save if you can. Yeah, good idea. But yeah, this actually, luckily this happened to me at the very end of my time with this game. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just not even going to mention it. I've already had another problem with the frame rate on another game, and we actually determined that it was actually my fault for having an older laptop, an older graphics card. So, and it wouldn't be fair to judge the game based on my ancient ass hardware. So, luckily, that's not the case here for the most part. But yeah, when there are 3 enemies on screen, that's when things get a little dicey. For me, at least. Again, I hope you guys have a better experience, and I think you guys will have a better experience than me. But it is my fault, so the game is... I'm not docking any points for it because of my ancient-ass hardware. So, for those that know, I've complained about this a lot before the before the judges' highlights started. But I was actually I was going to get a new laptop earlier this year, but... FedEx, in their infinite wisdom, were like, yeah, we're just going to steal it. They didn't outright admit that they stole it, but come on. The day it was supposed to arrive to me, to me, it just never came. It was stolen. Has that still not been resolved? No, it's been resolved. They admitted to losing the package, and they just gave me a refund. So I bought another laptop, and I'm going to get it this weekend. Still judging? Yes, Rag, still judging. Yes, Rag, I have 85 games that I need to get through. That's a lot. You know? I'm just doing these highlights because I wanted to talk about specific games. My bad game. Yeah. Yeah, there were quite a few entries in this time. So, yeah, like we've got time, and actually I think I'm pretty far along. So I just need to keep doing what I'm doing. But yeah. Also, Nova eats Lunchables. The hell? Where did that come from? What do you mean I eat Lunchables? I'm just stun locked at that point. It's like that was the most out of nowhere statement I could have heard on here. Hey, Bimlab. No, Lunchy. Well, the allegation's true. They used to be back when I was in elementary school. Caught you off guard, didn't I? Well, yeah. Anyone would be caught off guard by such a random statement like that. Alright, let's see if I can get through without fighting this guy. Do Lunchables still have lead? I don't know. What are you patting me for, Rhyme? What? Is eating Lunchables a crime? I don't eat them anymore. I was a child when I ate them. Milko should be just ahead. Yes, perhaps we should take a minute to reflect on our journey so far. Yeah, the lead is for flavor. It makes brain work good. Yeah, exactly. Not a bad idea, actually. Master Liba always tells me I lack patience. The tomb sauce is bomb? Are you okay, Rag? Are you drunk? Let us slow down and meditate for a moment. I'm being serious? I'm sure you are. Anyway, I like how it's an in-universe explanation for, hey, there's a boss fight coming up, you might want to save. The lead preserves the meat discs at room temperature for up to 2 decades. Listen. I had Lunchables when I was a kid, alright, and I turned out fine. Y'all are just overreacting. A little lead never hurt nobody. Agreed, the flowing of the water soothes the soul. But the time for meditation is over. Let us push. With all the quality of this game, you'd think the dev wouldn't have used a pen shadow. Nice. Noticed a couple of weird ones on the last map. Yeah, there's more than a couple of weird ones. Yeah, you should have seen the inside of one of the houses, John Erica. Because, yeah, it was really crazy. So that's why Nova's a Nova. What do you mean that's why Nova is a Nova? You say that like that's a bad thing. Yeah, the time for meditation is over. Let's push onward. He says as Brando runs around. As Brando ADHDs all around the left side of the map. But yeah, with all the quality of this game, you think the dev wouldn't have used the pen shadow? Remember, John Erico, 1 month. All this was made in 1 month. So yeah, I expect some dips every now and then. Like, for example, the fact that there's no splash effect right there at the bottom of the waterfalls. Honestly, the rest of it, like, if this game did not have the quality that it did, I would have looked at something like this and be like, yeah, that's a problem. But it's not. You know, because there's so much good in this game that I can easily overlook stuff like this. And you all say I'm a harsh dev. Am I a harsh judge? The crabs on the ladders are cracking me up. Yeah. You two seem to be lost. No, sir. We are not lost. My sense of direction is flawless. We are on our way to Milko, on a noble quest. Well, you are on the harsher side. Man, you guys are just making stuff up. I'm a super gentle soul. I'm the nicest judge to have ever existed. Ah, a noble quest, is it? So, trouncing my people is what you consider noble. That cat broke my shell in half. His friend looks weird too. I hate them. And you know what? If I really were harsh, I would bring something up about how there's a weird sprite error right here whenever these crabs do jump animation. And that would be something to look at, devs. Break their bones. I want to see their bones. Alright, settle down now. Hear this, interlopers. You shan't pass through here. I, Sir Bartholomew Crustaceus III, will smite you where you stand. On guard! Sir Krusty challenges you to a duel. Oh, wait. How did this get here? Oh no, look. There's a party member missing. And Axol is missing in the game called Axol's Quest. Huh. Well now. It's almost like I was right and you all were wrong. What the hell? Okay, so I guess I need to explain this for the people who are in here. Axol, you still don't have proof that it doesn't happen later, and you don't have proof that it did happen later. Like I said before, yet to be seen until you beat the game. Well, I am only going to judge what I played, and that was the first hour. So yeah. Nova, do you sleep or live in anger? I'm praising the game! How are you all How can you interpret this any other way? I'm telling you, this was cool. I like this. I like the misleading. The real final boss for this game for Nova is chat. No kidding. I gotta remember I gotta start preparing myself every time I hit start streaming. This is not a stream. This is a boss fight, and you guys are the boss. All right, so for those that are just joining us, this game is called Axol's Quest. And when we started this game, Axol was in fact a party member. And it was just Axol and Lottle. And we made it into the intro area. And then after the intro, we fought a boss, and that boss possessed Axol. And now Lottle is on his own, which is not what the game's marketing told us. And I thought that was a really nice twist. And for a game jam themed beyond expectations, I think that's great. Yeah, your praise kind of ambiguous. Yeah, well, you're ambiguous. Oh, so it was on purpose to misdirect you. Yes, that's what I've been saying. Thank you. Looney Studios gets it. All y'all just trying to fight with me. I think y'all just looking for fights. I think that's what's going on now. Yeah, that's what's happening. Also, you'll notice that Axol is 100 HP, Lottle's 100 HP, Brando's 90. These people are clearly at level 1. That tells me that the dev just opened up a test battle, put these characters in, and just took a screenshot of that. Yeah, there you go. No, we get it. You just keep acting like your absolute is 100% true because you're beholden to a single hour. Hi, Aaron. I'm a judge whose requirements is to play up to a single hour. Have we met? Is this your first time in a game jam? Do you know how this works? And hey, you know what? If your scenario is true, and it happens to be that and it happens to be that you're right and that it will be a time later, then great. I think that would be even better, because then I get double whammied with the expectations. Nova be yapping in a 2-minute fight. You guys just bring that out in me. Y'all just bring out the stun lock in me. I'm very easily stun locked, I guess. You will never reach the truth. It happens at 1 hour, 1 minute in. I guess so, yeah. Alright, so let's do pounce. Alright, 125, not too bad. I didn't mean to do that. Fat fingered the Z key. So that's 125. What is bounce? I think we can use that. 16. Okay, 100. So that's almost. Oh, hey, look. Sir Krusty braces his barnacles. You guys remember a reference to barnacles later that we saw earlier. I like that animation. Okay, increase attack and max MP for 3 turns. Let's do that. Alright, now we have... Let's do bounce. Whoa! That was a lot of damage. How many games have you tackled? Hang on. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 13. I have 13 games under my belt right now. That's how many I've judged and gave feedback on. Yeah. You cats think you've gotten the better of me, do you? I'm only getting warmed up. Yo, quit spamming. God, this guy's a filthy spammer. Wow. Wait your turn. Lottle, are you okay? I'm hanging on. This opponent is stronger than average, but we mustn't give in to fear. I can sense a great deal of magic within you. I saw it most clearly in our meditation session. Yes, I sense a powerful spiritual energy in you too. I know what it is you have in mind. Let us unite as a team. And we got ourselves a team skill. Lottle and Bando meditate and become like water. Raises the party's speed and evasion. See, I like that because it shows that every team attack has its own unique pose. It's not just them being together. It's not. They could have just had the. They could have just had them have their main portraits together. That would have been good enough. But no, it's going to be different because yeah, that's very clearly a meditation pose, and that's something that you would not see in any other team attack these two would have. So yeah, big respect for that. Well, okay then. We went from 600 health to 0 damage. It's quite a lot. Quite a big drop, actually. Alright. Huh, okay. Yeah, let's give you that buff again. Nope, not quite. Just a card. Just there you go. And we are done. You two put up a good fight. We're not nearly done yet. Lottle, let's finish him off. I'm craving crab. Cool, devour the enemies. Brando does not mess around, clearly. No, that's not necessary. I yield. Boo. Oh my god, Sir Krusty, you suck. I can't believe I took time out of my day for this. What a loser. Sir Krusty, the council has made its decision. We have decided that... Wait, what have we decided? banished. We don't like him or his nasty barnacles. That you are banished. We don't like you or your nasty barnacles. And you have failed to prove yourself in combat. So that's 2 strikes, you're out. I'm also on the council, and I agree. What they said. Krusty is gone. Krusty is gone. Etc. Come on, guys, let's go eat some sand fleas. Yeah. I can still... Come on, Waddle. Let's leave this miserable whelp to wallow in his failure. Waddle? Are you okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? No. It seems pretty brutal of them to banish you just for losing one fight. It's not just the fight. It's my barnacles. I used to be an esteemed member of the Royal Crab Guard in my heyday. But then these barnacles started growing on me and brought great shame upon my name. I thought if I could prove to them I'm still a great warrior, they'd let me back on the Royal Crab Guard. So much for that plan. Ha ha, indeed. We made short work of you, Crab. Brando, I think he knows that. I know he knows. I was gloating. Well, at least he's honest. Gotta respect that, at least. I'm sorry about him, Sir Krusty. He's not especially sensitive. Nonsense. My senses are impeccable. No, he's right. I am a miserable whelp. You two just continue on your noble quest or whatever it was you were doing. No, the submission is decreased again. Now it's 278. Disqualified in games get removed from entry. Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. Yeah, is like as we continue to find more problems, like we find some games were not made with the right engine. Some games had copyrighted work in it, and other games broke. We had game-breaking bugs within the first 10 minutes. So yeah, those are disqualified, and I'm guessing that's that decrease, and they have to get removed from the account. So I guess that decreases the overall count. Pretty sure they're talking about Saculina barnacles. I'm going to pretend I know what those are. How they're different from any other barnacles. You know, Krusty, you should come with us. I think your strength would be invaluable to us. Really? Of course. You're probably the strongest crab I've ever seen. Ho ho ho! Well now, surely you jest. Just what is this quest of yours anyway? We are gonna slay the Demon King Adobe. And rescue my brother, Axol. Oh my, that is noble. Hey, Alright. Why can I not read? Lacraleon. I'm gonna call you Locke. Hey, Locke. How are you doing? I hope overall you've been enjoying the games. I have. Yeah, the highlights here are games that I think are worth talking about. And, yeah, they're good. Yeah, Locke is great. Awesome. But yeah, how you doing, Locke? But yeah, these games have been good. I'm enjoying them. Perhaps I misjudged you two. Slaying a Demon King. Why, yes, of course. If that isn't enough to redeem me, I could think of nothing else that is. Lottle the Axolotl. Brando the Cat. I shall join you on your quest. And the 3 of us will vanquish this Adobe. Or my name is not Sir Krusty. Huzzah. Huzzah. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Huzzah! 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 Alright, yeah, we get it. Yes, that's more like it. I would do the voice acting there, but I do not want to get a noise complaint. Hee hee. Sir Krusty has joined your party. Now you can break cracked rocks. So yeah, you remember all those cracked rocks that we saw? Well now, that Sir Krusty's in our party. Boom. Also, I love the whole idea of, like, bosses becoming allies. And he's got all the same skills that he used in battle. Barnacle build, raise the speed, crab rave, hold fast. Yeah, these are great. And that is where we're actually going to end today. End it for this game. Because, yeah, I got a little bit further than this when I played it, but, you know, this time here, an hour and 20, this is why I don't stream, I don't do live judging for games. I just, when we start yapping, I want to experience as much as I can. So, yeah, that's why I'm not doing these on stream. That is weird, though, seeing, like, a direct side-by-side comparison. Hey, Lock, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope you like your stay here. But yeah, it's that's why. Yap emote win. You know what? That should be. We should be doing that. We should have one. We'll see what we can do to make that happen. But yeah, that will do it for Axol's quest. Good times. Good times all around. Okay, now let's go ahead and close this down. Now, what else are we going to? We're going to move up. Very cute. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, what will be the next game that we play on the list? I got a couple more that we can do. Look up Saculita Barnacles real quick before you switch. John Echo, if this is some cursed shit that you're about to make me watch, I'm going to be mad. And why would you think that they're talking about Saculina barnacles, of all things? Okay, then don't. You don't tell me what to do. Ew. Huh. That is kind of gross. Huh. Reverse psychology. Look, man, I'm in charge of my own life. No one tells me what to do. So if you ask me to do something, I'll do the opposite. Just because. By the way, Nova, I found a soon-to-be an off-brand submission on the jam. Do what you will with that information. We have seen... I've seen some... we have talked about some games that are skirting the line. I don't know which one you're talking about, and I'm not that interested in bringing that up here. We're going to play them, and when we find them, we'll talk about them. And by we, I mean the judges. So yeah, we will do our due diligence. Don't you worry about that. If you're concerned about it, you're more than welcome to DM it to me, and then we can take a look. I'll bring it up with the others if we haven't talked about it already. But I think I might know which ones you're talking about. But it just I could be wrong about that. But yeah, don't bring it up here because we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later with the judges. Okay. Let's see. What is the next one? You can also report the submission. I guess you can. Now, I'm curious what you mean by off-brand, but I know Nova not looking to talk about it at the moment, so I won't force it. Yeah. mean, you guys can take that to DMs or whatever, but yeah, we're not going to bring that up here. I think you know what off-brand refers to. But yeah, because yeah, you've been here long enough. Wait, hold on. That gave a wrong information. Not that I mean to imply that I play off-brands here on stream. I don't. But you know what? I'm gonna stop digging the hole even deeper. All right, so let us do. Let's see. We have an extra hour. Yeah, let's do this one. Don't you pat me using that emote like that. Okay, next up will be a game that, hang on. Bushi, Yoroi, Maki, Exceed. I would have read that from the title, but, well, I can't read Japanese. So, yeah. This one stuck out to me for a lot of other reasons. You will all find out in just a second. But if you take one look at the game page, you all should know that this is going to be a different type of game. So, what do you say we just go ahead and get started? Okay, so right away, a picture tutorial showing, hey, you're going to need both the mouse and the arrow keys, or WASD, to get through. Well now, that is interesting. Okay, show of hands. Well, I guess not show of hands. Like, how many of you know what we're about to get into? If actually, you know what? If you do know, shut up. Don't say it. Because, yeah, the rest of you are not going to have any idea, because it's not going to be what you would expect. Select Pursuit Route. Depending on the route, you will get a different experience with different boss battles and endings. Except you can't, because only one route is available. Apparently, there's no, there is no, the jam submission is only going to have one route, and it's not that this isn't available, but, sorry, it's not that this is locked, it's just straight up not there. Hey, I recognize the artist. Yeah? Yeah? Alright. Okay. Chrome code route. Alright, so we have... Yeah, there is a lot of... Oh, okay, where's... Okay. So you have... Actually, you know what? Wait. Oh, shoot. Spoilers. Forgot about that. I guess it reads your... I started a new game, but I guess this means... Your progress is actually tracked independent of your save files. That's interesting. Because, yeah, when I started playing for the first time, all this stuff was, yeah, grayed out. Because, yeah, I actually was not able to get to the end of this. For reasons that I will explain pretty quickly. Let's start. Would you like to enter this node? Yes. Skip the intro. For jam judging, it is strongly advised to skip the intro. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, that is... Yeah, why? Yeah, why indeed? I don't know. This game doesn't tell me. I can assume... As I went through this game, there were lots of references. Hey, Nessie, welcome in. You could say it's beyond expectations. What, to be told what to do? But yeah, so my understanding after playing this. By the way, so Barry, I don't know if you're lurking in chat or whatever, or if you're gonna watch this in the VOD. In which case, hi, future Barry. Don't tell me what to do. If you're telling me strongly advised to skip the intro, then my question to you is, why even have this intro in the first place? Is this Barry game, or did he just do the art? No, this is Barry's game. Yeah, the entire game was done by Barry. So when you have this, when you want me to skip the intro, okay, so first off, after going through it, yeah, I can understand why the game jam, you would tell me to skip the intro, because this game is actually, what's the thing I'm looking for? It's part of a larger story. Has anyone ever played the Trails games? So the thing about the Trails games is that you are not really playing a singular entry, but rather a part of a larger story, interconnected by the games. My understanding is that this game is Barry's games are kind of in the same vein, in which there are a bunch of different games, and this is just one of them it's part of that world. And they are constantly referencing events that are happening in different games. And I have the same problem with this game as I had in those other games, where the stuff that they're talking about that happened off screen sounds a lot more interesting than what's going on in here, which is not really a great sign. Hey, Kevin, skip the intro. Man, I should just not skip it out of spite because of you. Because you said that. Because you're telling me what to do. How many games tell you to skip the intro beyond expectations? Quite a lot, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Granted, it hasn't happened a lot in the games for this jam, but I have played several RPG Maker games where where they kept telling me to skip, or give me the option to skip the intro. When I first started making games, I myself also did that. I gotta admit. But when I was working on my first game, I actually had the reason why I did it was because I had a bug in one of the scripts that I was using, the combination of the scripts that I was using, that required players to start a new game every time I released an update. That was my fault. I was very inexperienced back then, and I didn't know how to mesh scripts together to make them work. But that's why I did what I did. Here, though, I believe that the reason why you were asking me to skip the intro was because the intro talked about a lot of things, a lot of events outside of this game. For the record, when I first played this, when I played this for judging, I did not skip the intro, because I don't like it when you try to tell me what to do. And I think the intro to these games are important because they need to set the context. And if you're spending more time talking about stuff from other games, well, yeah, understandable. Have a nice day. Hey, I'm just saying that's what I did beforehand. I got one person telling me to skip it, and then someone else saying don't skip the intro. I got two people saying skip the intro. Man, what is going on with this? Watch it twice? What? Wow. I like this one. Lol, you got me, lol, told what to do and got 6 ads smacked. Wait, 6 ads smacked? Wait, what? 6? This is his second time? Yes, this is my second time through this game. Yeah. That sucks. Sorry to hear that, Kevin. I only set it up so that people get 1 minute of ads, or like 1 minute 20 second of ads every hour. I'll have to double check that, but yeah, that's kind of rough. Sorry about that. And I got some other people saying that they don't get ads, period, even though they aren't subbed. It's fine. It supports you. Well, I appreciate that. So what should we do here? What should we do here? You know what? There's some art in the intro that is not anywhere else. So I'm kind of tempted to do that, but watch it. All right. What do I do? What do I do? Nah. I will watch it. Let's go. It's been 7 years since I've lived my new life. Breaking free from what I once was, I was able to take the lessons I've learned to heart. Surprisingly, being free, despite its initial struggles, has net me dividends in more ways than one. I was able to put my skills to good use as I work my way up from humble beginnings to become a worldwide sensation in 4 years' time. Things have been busy nowadays. I'm now having to deal with the aftermath of my success. What success? Okay, listen, even if I was, well versed in the Berryverse, you gotta tell me who's talking right now. Because this is no different from just the scrolling black text. But at least the scrolling black text is told through a third-person narrator, so I know which person we're talking about here. To the point where I ended up not making much headway in finding out the two things that were left to me in the old world. Who killed can't talk today. Who killed my former daimyo, or as they say in English, master? Which would imply that this entire thing is not in English, alright? And finding some other halves of people from limbo. Spiritual folks who are stuck in an enclosed domain that I happen to stumble upon. It's been so long now that it gradually slipped through my mind. I might eventually forget the last two vestiges of concern I had of the past. But if there's anything fate has in store, it's to never expect that life would remain stagnant. Sometimes you'll never know when it will surpass my expectations. Get ready to get used to that line there. Surpass my expectations. Phew, today's another rough day. I should get to bed. I gotta wake up at 5 in the morning and supply all the high quality crabs for the morning market. Then training at 7:30, meeting with some investors at 9:30, manage company clienteles at 11, etc., etc. For someone who's quite the affluent in this life, you sure lived quite humbly, Kurani Gozo. My former life imparted me a lesson in humility and minimalism, but enough of your awe. I go by Chromco now, wandering apparition. Why don't you show yourself? Several issues here. One, why is Chromco not surprised at the appearance of an apparition? That was the most nonchalant reaction I could have expected for a ghost just showing up. Will you attack me if I do? Depends. But you technically have the advantage here. I'm unarmed and unarmored. You could just snipe me and I would probably be a goner, Fujisaki Fushiro. Although if you're an apparition, I guess you don't have such a luxury to assassinate me anymore. You're awfully calm for someone who's been stalking you throughout the whole day. Okay, well that's just... okay. Why would you admit that? Apparitions like you, who have wandered past the point of living, cannot influence the real world to a massive degree unless they're vengeful spirits. He's psychic orc. Oh, that's not too far off, I guess. And besides, I have a sense for these things built in since I was born. This is practically another Tuesday for me. That's good to know. So, what do you think of my new life then? Honestly, I didn't expect you to become a conglomerate after the Onigashima Wars. I must confess, your freedom is one I envy. I do appreciate that they give a little explanation as to some of what these words mean, both for non-weebs to understand and to help reference past events. I definitely appreciate that. I'm more surprised that you can speak English with me. My Japanese auto-translator for my soul was removed after the war. How can you even communicate with me? I've had an acquaintance help me with that. Says that it will help me prepare for when I encounter you. Are you going to tell me who's your benefactor? I'm not here to humor your questions. I'm here for a favor, actually. She cut that conversation short, huh? I can hazard a guess as to who, but I best just humor her for now. He studied the axe while you were out partying? My guy, I'm an RPG Maker dev. Do you think I know what a party is? I'm listening. It's the Taminobu clan. The head of the clan has finally done his most vile scheme yet. He has, in his possession, the Murasaki no Tama, a powerful jewel that can warp the mind of man and woman alike into spiritual submission. In order to meet his expectations, he intends to use it on me in order to make him his bride, a soft-spoken, accepting wife. I can't turn to anyone anymore. Momotaro's busy in another area, and other people just scoffed at my plea for help. I was getting desperate. You're practically my last option here. Despite the fact that she said she couldn't turn to anyone anymore. Why are you a spirit now? Why are you asking this question now? That's so weird. Like, I had a hard time figuring out how familiar these two were, which is why I was assuming that these two met in a previous Barry game. I actually died alongside my brother, but that sick bastard Taminobu wasn't content with letting me go. That is quite the revelation that you just nonchalantly dropped on me like that. Again, this is my first Barry game, so there's a lot of things that are unfamiliar to me that the game just kind of treats like it's nothing. And no, I'm not counting the fact that I didn't skip the intro as a fault of my own. Because I don't know exactly how much of the intro I was going to skip. When it says skip the intro, I was like, okay, did that mean just like skip the recap of what was going on here? Or does that mean it was, as soon as I hit yes, it was going to throw me right into a battle? Like with no explanation. Like, I very much would appreciate context. So that's why I did not skip the intro. He's going to drag my spirit back using the Murasaki no Tama and mold my personality into one of his sick dolls. And you want me to stop this Taminobu guy, then, because you can't do anything about it? The intro might have been like 20 minutes. And? I mean, that's... Like, I would completely understand if this were not a Game Jam entry. But, as a judge, I want to see what you have to offer. Or maybe there should be a third option, brief explanation of the intro. Or, better option, we can trim down all the unnecessary dialogue here. Or, a fourth option, you can reword the skipping dialogue and say, hey, for jam judges, skip the intro. You can instead say, hey, for an explanation of what happened in previous games, click yes. But this is the intro to the game. This gives me context for why we're here. I'm not going to skip that. I'm just not. And if you wanted people to skip it, maybe you shouldn't have put it in the first place. I understand that there could be different reasons why you would want players to skip it, but this was a jam game made in 1 month. I can't imagine that Barry would have the same problems that like I had when I first was working on games. So no, I did not skip the intro, and I'm not ashamed of that. What? And there's going to be another choice after this intro that also set me off a little bit. I want you to take me to him so I can cessate his soul in the spirit world once and for all. Well, that wasn't what I expected. So she's enlisting me for extra muscle instead then, huh? Guess who's back? Back again. Ozzy's back. Tell a friend. Wait, who are you? Sorry, I completely forgot who you were. Unfortunately, his castle is protected by a powerful chi energy that I can't break. In addition, I think when we enter his domain, he'll likely be prepared with something that I'm actually weak against. And that would be... calculations, maths, the like. The domain will be all about transactionals and purifications reforged into a reality of numbers and sequences. And there's the explanation. This is going to be a math game, everybody. I hate to admit it, but I'm not equipped to be a number cruncher. I mean, I appreciate Fujisaki's self-awareness, but listen, let's be real, guys. I feel like you can take one look at her character design and infer that. I don't think she needed to spell that out. In fact, I think it would have been better if this guy here, I already forget his name, pointed that out and be like, ah, yeah, now I know why you came to me for help. But then again, I can't really get a semblance of the relationship between these two just based on their dialogue, because there's not a lot of... What's the word I'm looking for? Not a lot of personality behind the dialogue. It's very declarative. I've said that a couple of times with some other games, but dialogue is information filtered through a character, through the character's personality. I'm seeing the information. I'm not seeing a lot of the character here. So I think that's one problem with the writing here. Yeah. The dialogue doesn't match the character. I mean, I would disagree with that, Looney, because on the sole fact that I don't even know what, this guy's character, I can kind of get a semblance of what her character is just by looking at her design, right? Kind of open shirt, I want to say, yeah, like bare arms, scars. Yeah, very rough and tumble. I got that. I can't get a semblance of what this guy's personality is supposed to be. Yeah. Just do the intro is a small world snippet for each character in your game so they don't realize it and get engaged with the world. So there are a number of ways to get around this, and we can talk about that more afterwards, but yeah, this long-winded intro is not the best way to do it. Time to be a math nerd. Yep. Bet you all never thought you'd be playing a math game in RPG Maker, huh? I bet that would go beyond your expectations. Of course, he wants to make her submit through the most boring thing imaginable. I need either one of the heroes like Japan, like Momotaro or Kintaro, or an Oni with powerful spiritual resonance to dissolve the barrier enough to enter Tamenobu Joe's domain. Both options are impossible to me, and the only reasonable powerful Oni that I can approach, that blue-skinned brat, would just be mimicking that bastard Tamenobu's modus operandi. I refuse help from him. I'm assuming blue-skinned brat is a character from a different Barry game. That figures. Ryusei would actually make Fujisaki his girlfriend as a deal as well. Although that confirms to me that Ryusei is still alright if her words are to be believed. That's why I refer to you. You don't seem to have any romantic or lecherous interest in anyone, especially me. That's why I'm asking you. So we're here because we're Sigmas. Got it. Well, she's right that I don't have any interest in her at all, but the fact that she resorted to using me of all Oni. Do you have something to offer me in turn then? I won't help you out of charity. I've got a new life ahead of me now, and I don't intend to fully return to my past roots. I expected you would. I wouldn't approach you if I didn't have a bargaining chip worth giving. I know the magical girl who killed your Enma, Dio. I can tell you who it is. Well now, this avenue is definitely worth pursuing after all. So, a lot of these internal monologues from Chromco, you don't need to spell out. Less is more in this case, and that flash, that change of expression, told me everything that this dialogue box is telling me, making this completely redundant. And there's going to be a lot of those internal monologues that convey the exact same thing, which is redundancy. It seems that you managed to figure out some unfinished business of mine. Who tipped you off? Some Onihime who told me this information. She's the one who also told me where to find you. Onihime, huh? Considering how vast my old world is, I doubt I can narrow down which Onihime is, but that's beside the point now. Fine, I'm in. Then let's go. Now, we can enter the domain through dreams. You just have to sleep. Oh, and wear your Yoroi. I hope you all didn't just hear that. It will manifest in the dream world if you wear that. Oh, that's alright with me then. Yes! It's been so long since I had to wear that for more than training purposes. I can finally put it to good use again. I thought you were trying to get away from your old life. Why are you so excited to put on the armor now? Alright, before that, I'd best put up a haze around the area so nobody would think to disturb me then. Why would anyone think to disturb you? Where exactly do you live? Ho, so you haven't been slacking off then. Still refining your techniques. I have to. You don't just stay stagnant forever regardless of where you're at. Good. Then I shall meet you over on the other side. Okay. Black Magnum armor, materialize. Bam. That was quick. That was the quickest superhero transformation I've ever seen. I can materialize it in my body instead of wearing it manually this time. This is convenient. Honestly, it's been so long. I miss wearing this. This is so comfy for some reason. It's the best thing Kikaki have made for me. I'm just glad I get to use it again. Again, I thought you were trying to get away from your old life. Right. Best to sleep on it now. Although, I don't know my helmet would be snuggly enough. Oh well. That's where you're supposed to hype it up, right? I don't know if what... I mean, yeah, it is. Like, you mean the transformation? I don't know. Like, you're right, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Like, I just made a note of it because, yeah, that was weird, but... in the larger scheme of things, like, yeah, this is... Yeah, that is... It's not that big of a deal. Especially if you're coming into this well-versed in the Berryverse games, and, like, this transformation probably would be something you've already seen several times. But what do I know? I'm just the judge. I shouldn't even be looking at this at all. It will materialize in the dream world anyhow. Now, best to just relax my mind and let the spiritual flow guide me. And that was the intro that I could have skipped. So had I chosen to skip the intro, this is where I would be ending up. So, tell me how confused you would be if you saw this and you skipped the intro. And here we are. The helmet's automatically equipped in 2, meaning summoning my armor in the realm of dreams is still feasible. I thought this was a mecha game from the thumbnail. Turns out this is a Power Ranger game. Excuse me, it's samurai armors. So you're thinking of Ronin warriors. Yeah. How many people even know what I'm talking about? I'll tell you, because I just came back and I'm very confused. Yeah, so John Erico, when we started this game, there was a option to skip the intro, and it says, hey, if you're a jam judge, you should skip the intro. And because I'm a rebel, I didn't skip the intro here, and I didn't skip it when I played the game. Because I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being told how to experience your game. You put in that kind of effort, right? You put in the effort to writing that scene. You put in effort to drawing those art pieces that I don't think we'll ever see again. I'm not going to skip over that. Like, that's still work that you put in, and I felt like I need to see that. Anyway, you're here, and here I thought you would be halted by all sorts of yokai foes. Yeah, she's got her armor on too. Well, this is a surprise for once. You're actually wearing your Yoroi armor as well. Might be VR troopers. I don't know. VR troopers didn't have samurai armor. I was granted to be by my benefactor, but enough posturing. We need to go. Time is of the essence. The power I was granted to me back then. The power I was granted to me back then. That reads like he granted himself power. The white aura that I inherited, it allowed me to break my normal limits like enhanced spiritual prowess and even astral project myself into the realm beyond the boundaries of what is possible. You don't need to tell us this. You should probably show us this instead. I've been in this realm countless times in order to supplement my wealth. It honestly surprises me how effective the Dreamlands are at influencing the real world. Minor grammar mistake, 1 out of 10 game. Well, a minor grammar mistake in a game that's very story heavy, I think carries more weight than one that is not story heavy. But this is the first time I'll ever head off alongside a revenant of the past. Today is certainly reaching beyond my expectations. Yes, I am going to emphasize that every time I hear it. And if you get annoyed by me doing that, imagine how I felt every time I read that. And now we get the intro to the character. See, this is what I thought I was going to skip when the game asked me to skip the intro. My name is Chromiko, monikered in my old life as the Black Magnum. I have the power, using my armor that I gained from the Onigashima wars that I participated 7 years ago, in order to follow my daimyo's orders. Of course, I failed in my duty, and now I am free to live as I see fit in this new world. I had to stop for a second and read that like 3 times because I thought I was missing something. Because I remember saying out loud when I read this, that's not how failure works. Oh, you failed in your duty? Okay, well, you can just head out then. Just take care. Later. It's like, huh? Is that how that works? But again, this has to be referencing an older game, but this is the part that the dev wanted me to see. So, okay. Now I'm being straddled along to deal with some business from a former foe of mine in order to find out the truth that I thought would never come to fruition. Adding beyond expectation to the dialogue is becoming unofficial requirements. Oh, Christ. No, please no. Yet here I am, returning to the line of duty on a more serious capacity once more. What will fate have in store for me? This is the place. There is a torii gate-like structure with 2 paths, one with a portal hued purple and the other hued green. Chromiko? Is that you? Okay, wow. Today's been a whirlwind of surprises, isn't it? Should be a question mark at the end there. What are the odds we would see each other again after so long? Wow, fate really throws in quite the surprise for us. Ho, is this one of your old colleagues you've told me a while back? Akarambo? Yeah, his name's Chromiko, the Oni that owns the seafood brand Kanimatsuri and many other seafood companies. You have tried one of his brand-made shrimp crackers before. Oh, right. That stuff actually tastes like actual luxury crab, too. I think these guys are cool looking. They are certainly diverse. I definitely appreciate that. Like, it takes some doing to be able to pull off a diverse set of armor like this. Love the trivia at the top left. I do too. It helps me understand what's going on. Good to know you introduced a product of mine to a close acquaintance of yours, Akarambo. So, why are you here? And who's this blue armored lady? Fujisaki Fujishiro, formerly one of your faction's enemies. Oi, why did you bother introducing to him like that? Now he's going to get the wrong idea. Huh, really now? Though you're now asking Chromiko for help. I wasn't given much of a choice regarding who I could ask for help. I'm not about to handle everything by myself. I see. I didn't think our Akarambo would be so mature about all this. He's changed a lot the last time we met. Then again, I sense that he's holding back as much of his anger as possible, and I wouldn't even blame him for it. By the way, this here is Chikaze. She's my girlfriend. Yep, this big softy here is my boyfriend. But technically, he's more of my muscle security. Wow, so he's more security than lover, huh? Yikes. Ouch. Well, you're not wrong about that. Okay. Oh, well, congratulations to you then, Akarambo. Are you sure? He's looking kind of whipped right now. What about you? Is this samurai your... No. Well, you heard the lady. I would have thought you'd be more upset about it. We literally just met and entered this realm. Actually, how do you enter how do you enter this realm? Why are you asking it like that? As if you didn't know how you got here yourself. It would be nice to see some action though, or at least some interaction. Well, let's see. What do you mean interaction? You mean, are you saying you want to get to the gameplay quicker? In which case, understandable, but it's always worth remembering that this is going to, like, choices maybe? I don't think that's necessary. This is clearly a defined story with defined characters that have come from previous games. Choices bring a level of interactivity to characters and define them in specific ways depending on which choices that you give. Like, I think it's fine for right now. Like, we're clearly trying to set up to put choices in dialogue heavy games like this requires a level of writing that I'm not sure we're ready for yet. I would prefer just solidifying the characters as they are right now. So I don't have a problem with the fact that it's very linear right now. Besides, we're now interacting with two people who could potentially exist in a separate route that is not available in this game. So I think it's important for them to get to know each other. Remind me about that later, Looney, because I do want to go back to something that you said. I want to go back to this point that you're bringing up right now, later. Character designs looks cool. Well, yeah, I completely agree. You know, it would have been very easy to... what is it? It would have been very easy to give them all like generic looking samurai armor, but no, there was real effort to make every one of these stick out. A good aspect of character designs is their silhouette. And even though Fujisaki and this guy, I've already forgotten his name, Akarambo or something, have the very similar stances, their armor design are distinct in such a way that their silhouettes would still stand out as different, and you'd be able to identify them all. So, yeah, I think it's a good mark of character design that they are the way that they are. My only sort of issue with the art is that these are all supposed to be armor, and the way that it's shaded is very clothy, if that makes more sense. For example, and actually, you know what? In fact, this chest plate on Chromco here is the most armor-like shading that I've seen so far, because it's got a little bit of metal glint to it, and you can kind of see it right here too, even in the outline. But I don't see that so much with everyone else. Let me see if we can. Yeah, right here. There's clearly none of this looks armory. Even the claws, because they have generally similar shading as everywhere else. Very soft shading. Too much contrast? Contrast? I don't know about that. Yeah. The red guy seems to have a face in his chest. Imagine a giant face appear in the dark. That would be intimidating, not gonna lie. She meant an emerald bracelet that was used to expose a weakness in our green fields and drain all life out of our crops. But yeah, like this is very, and this is supposed to be a chest plate, right? But it's shaded like it was cloth. Like if this is supposed to be armor, yeah, I'm not really seeing it here. So that's why we're here. What about you? But you know what? Props. This guy's red armor still stands out on the red background. And I think that's a good sign of color choice. We're here to infiltrate this place so that we can nab the Murasaki no Tama from the bastard inside this domain. If he can fully harness it to its full potential, he might very well warp reality to his whims. Wow, the guy you're chasing after must be a great a-hole then, huh? Indeed. So clearly we both somehow got 2 jewels to find in the same Torii Gate. I wonder if there's a connection there. Although by the looks of it, you're looking for the emerald, which is likely to be in the green portal. Ours is in the purple one, if color is any indication. You have no idea if color is any indication. You are just completely guessing there. Perhaps so, but we should put a pin in that. We should get moving. Time is of the essence after all. Then good luck, our Akarambo, and you as well, Chikaze. Aw, thanks. You too. And that is the last time we'll see them for the rest of the game. At least as far as I've seen. And that's the other thing. I have a lot of mixed thoughts about this. Maybe if you choose the other route. Yeah, well, obviously, yeah, if you choose the other route. But remember, the other route doesn't exist yet. So, in a game where you can choose routes, there are best practices for those. Personally, I don't like it when you can pick one route and they just don't interact with each other at all. Because then it's just like, I'm not getting the full context of the story. The advantage of having multiple routes through a story is you can see events from different perspectives. I feel like if you have 2 entirely separate games, 2 entirely separate stories that don't interact with each other even remotely, then why have the other route at all? And I'm basing this primarily on the fact that we don't encounter those 2 ever again. I just wish I had a reason to go into the other route. Like if we see them in positions of peril, but we couldn't exactly help them. Like, okay, well, how did they get out of that? That would give me an incentive to go through and check out the route. So, assuming that, honestly, I can't even assume if those characters were previous characters as well. It's the first time that my character has met them. I'm assuming this is my character, right? This is me, and I'm not playing as like the pair of them, right? So, why should I, as a player, want to go down the other route? That's the other choice I need to make here. Because after going through this game, I'm like, I legit forgot that there was even going to be another route plan. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, why? So in games that I think handled multiple routes well would be, the first example I can think of is OG Resident Evil 2. Because Leon and Claire meet each other all the time. They just run into each other at different points throughout their stories. And I specify OG RE2 because in remake RE2 they meet each other like twice throughout the whole game, not count after the intro. I'm like, oh, okay, well that sucks. But yeah, when you see them in different states, like at the end of, if you play Claire in OG RE2, like the last time you see Leon, he's all busted up with a bandage over him. And he's like, holy crap, what happened to him? And then you play his story and then learn about how he got shot. Trying to protect somebody, and then you just learn what he went through. Like the point of having 2 routes across different stories is so that they both have their own thing, but they both contribute to the overall plot of the game, the overall story of the game. Granted, maybe there is going to be another scene. There's going to be scenes in the other game, in the other route, where we see that, but I don't see it. I don't see how that could be here. Again, I can only judge what I played. And Mother Nature is getting pissed at me for criticizing a game, because now the heavens are coming down. Plot twist, the dev is setting the scene for the next game. Well, I guess I'm giving them plenty of time to do that, yeah? Anyway, was that one of the 4 Oni generals of your Onigashima? Yeah, the blue-haired brat you mentioned, a Karambo. Me and a blue one by the name of Algashi. Clearly, you're the responsible of the 3, by the looks of it. Our Karambo seems like more of a loyal pet than an actual leader. That's your assumption on him. He's more than just your average brute. I can assure you of that. Perhaps. Now, let's get a move on. We've got our own issues to deal with here in this domain. Right. What is this place? It seems like he's already starting his little experiments. I sense tormented souls left and right. You'd think he'd be able to just control a few, not this many. Can you pull through this malaise of torment, Kromko? We're going to have to purify these tormented souls in order for the path to open further. No problem. I'll support you the best I can. Then this shall be our first bout of purification. Prepare yourselves. Alright, and welcome to the actual gameplay. And here we go. Select difficulty. For jam judges, it is strongly recommended to do Hawk mode. Again, don't tell me what to do. Why would... Wow. I see this and I'm like, really? How about I decide what difficulty I want to do? I'm not doing game journalist mode. What are you, crazy? There's still a long intro after the skippable intro? Yes, there is. Now, granted, I am making it longer by yapping over it, but hey. That's welcome to the Nova experience. But if I wanted... so I am very much a normal guy. I want to experience the game as it was intended. But I think Dove should be easy personally. What? A challenging form that tests your number comparing skills. You think that should be easy? Hey, Regita, welcome in. How you doing? So yeah, for those who don't like counting and want easier count comparisons. Are you telling me that as a jam judge, I should not like counting and I want easier count comparisons? Because no. Dove, easy, Hawk, hard. Oh, okay, you're thinking about it in terms of animal. Okay, gotcha. Feels like the dev underestimated the judge, almost to the point of insult, I think. I don't know if it's to the point of insult. I'm going to yap, I'm going to watch intro, and I'm going to do math. You better believe it. Yeah, that is what I'm going to do. I have zero shame. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it's an insult. As I mentioned in Axol's Quest, if you're going to balance a game for a jam like this, it'd be better to do it on the easier side. But here you are including difficulty modes. And you know what? I will pick the same mode that I picked when I went through the game myself. Crow. Because, yeah, I want the normal difficulty. Like, I don't want an easier difficulty. I want you to see what the intended experience is like. So, yeah. Wrong. You said add quota, John Erico. Not add quote. Replace the A with an E in there, and then you're good. Alright, I presume you're not familiar with the purification process then. I know what I did. Well then, fix it. That's a good quote to take out of context. What you talking about? If you're not familiar with the purification process then, I'll help you cover the basics of it if you want. For you guys' sake, I'll go ahead and do it. Remind me. Okay. So the point here is to purify all the enemy's negative energies. The enemy's negative value will be shown on that red circle at the center. That helmet can display HUDs, right? HUD should be in all caps. Not the S, but yeah, HUD should be in all caps. Yeah, I can see it. You can also see that there are 4 different spiritual directions that you can input in your mind below it. They come into values of 4. For brevity's sake, we'll call them SV, or spirit values. Yeah, thank you, Rhyme. Thank you, Rhyme. Oh, am I being gaslit because I didn't really hear you say it? Yeah, I did say it. I mean, I read the chat, so that's close enough. I mean, fair enough. Yeah, maybe reading chat shouldn't be taken out of context, but that's still a funny one. I'll let it slide this time. The point is to choose the one that has a higher SV than the enemies. There's a chance that more than one SV direction has a higher value. All you gotta do is choose one. We can't choose both. If you got it right, the bar up top will increase. Reach 100% and they're purified. That's our goal here. Yeah, or else I'd be quoting you a lot more. Yeah, fair enough. I'll let it slide this time because it's my stream and I'll break my own rules if I want to. But yeah. Though keep in mind that if you pick the wrong one, the spirit will drain our essence. All we have are our armor skills. We cannot rely on items, so do keep that in mind. One other thing. If you're struggling for the answers, you can use my ability or yours to disrupt the rate of then negative influence. Admin abuse, you better believe it. I can boost the purification amount significantly every successive attempt, even if it's only temporary. My boy really said, I like that. I will take credit for it. Well, I keep coming to chat doing random quotes looking for the quote I got. Someday I will find the number. Just hover over the one shown on the bottom of the HUD and it will display what you and I can do. Then just tap on it for us to use our skills. And that's why we had the intro telling us that we use WASD and the mouse. So yeah, up the four blue circles I hit with WASD and then I click on these items here to use skills. Already a different type of battle system than you would expect from other RPG Maker games, huh? In my case, I can boost the values of our spirit to go beyond the limits of what's possible. Almost had it. Almost had the roll credits part. Will you knock it off? Mother Nature just has zero respect for my time. I can also heal our spirit energy on the right side there. Should things get dicey, my little crab magic will restore our stamina immensely. That's all I have to say for now. I'm sure the rules may change over time, so just keep the basics in mind. Let's begin the purification. Can you keep up with me, Oni? Definitely. I haven't been slacking off when it comes to using spiritual powers after all. And there we go. Now, what the hell is going on? That was weird. Okay, so yeah, basically just, hey, which number is higher? 9, okay. Done. 5, done. 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 Easy. Easy stuff. It's a simple comparison, you would say, right? And yeah, sure enough, I was checking it out. But listen, is interesting mechanics. Mother Nature, do you know number 2? Not the call of nature, Rhyme! Mother Nature! I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is raining like crazy over here. And there was some pretty loud thunder that I don't know if the mic picked up, but yeah, that's what's going on. Yes, I know, I'm talking about you. Now knock it off. But yeah, okay, so let's talk a little bit about tutorials design. We need dead parents. Okay, when you're introducing a new mechanic like this, it's good to have a rundown of tutorials, but let's talk a little bit about how best to ease players into something different. Here we are in a zero stress environment. Okay, here's your number. Here is it. You have plenty of opportunities to make mistakes. Yeah, see, 89%. It's not that bad, right? So just keep at it. Build up your muscle memory. Just learn how it works. Take it slow. Take it at your own pace. You are fine. Admittedly, this first stage is going on quite a long time. But hey, let's test these skills out, yeah? Megiddo Magnum, Effect 10. Whatever Effect 10 means. Let's see. I think quote list should be 2 words. Recover all user SV, alright? Bam. So yeah, this just gives you a very stress-free environment so that you can take things at your own pace and just learn the mechanics. This is great. While we're still figuring all this out. Can you guys even hear that? By the way? Can you guys even hear the rain and the thunder? No, you can't? Oh wow. Then I've been screaming like a I've been screaming like a schizo for a little bit, haven't I? My bad. Okay, but yeah, I can hear it clearly, and I've got headphones on. Like, I know my mic is pretty sensitive, but like it can play some of the mic sound effect in my ear. But yeah, okay, cool. Apologies to all the future VOD watchers, because that's gonna sound bizarre. As if I'm just like having random schizo episodes. I just start yelling at nature. Huh. Looks like we've got one of them down. There's 2 more that needs our attention. This time, the required exceeding energy is much higher than the last foe. But there should be just one solution still. Keep your guard up and focus. Alright. So again, this time, okay, I like the concept for battles is different, but I'm curious to see the challenge comes in. So that's the thing. For something new like this, you have to ease your way into it. Now, granted, most players are going to be a lot quicker than me at this because, you know, they're not going to stop and yap to a chat like I am right now. But still. You know what? Actually, let me test something. Yeah, 31. That's 2%. 35. 2%. 2%. Okay, so it's just going to be 2%, huh? So this time is trying to get you used to the number counting, because for me at least, I don't know if the dev accounted for this, but when I experienced it, I noticed that the first time was low numbers, and it was very easy to pick out which was the higher number by just comparing the number of digits. So most of the numbers that were in the first phase were single digits, and we often had a double-digit number here, so that was very easy to pick out. Here, though, it's looking like a lot of these are double digits, so it's actually going to take a little more checking to understand what's going on. Understand which ones are the ones that you want to pick. So it's just, again, training your brain, getting you used to how this stuff works. Because once you understand that, once you've demonstrated a good grasp on it, that is when the complexity kicks in. No, the quote I was looking for is missing. That one really inappropriate out of context, though. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. So every now and then I go back through the list and I just take out stuff that either is really, that does cross the line out of context, or just was not funny out of context. And it really helps because, again, I don't remember half the context of the things that I say. So if I look at it and I just don't laugh, I'm like, yeah, okay, that needs to go. So, yep, I'm just being a good curator. It is kind of weird that all victories only boost it by 2%. That seems kind of low. But hey, whatever. If it works, it works. There we go. There's also the punishment where you delete one. Oh yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, I forgot to put that back in the wheel. Nicely done. Just one more to go. What in the name of Naruku? Why did the HUD? Oh, you did. Oh, you spelled HUD. You capitalized it correctly that time. Show up an equation now all of a sudden. These tormented spirits, I can sense they're adapting to our purification process. Guess they do intend to cause more annoyances. No matter, we'll break through all the same. And it was at this point I came to a sudden and depressing realization. You can just completely ignore what's in the red circle. All you really have to do is look at the blue circle and just pick the largest number. Because if you can guarantee that one of them will always win, you know you don't even need to compare it to the red circle. And once I figured that out, it became much quicker to actually play the game. See? Easy. Which was very disappointing. Unfortunately, should have put the equations in the blue circles instead. I feel like that would have been too much, because instead of, it feels like the dev wanted me to make one calculation, and if I put the equations in the blue circles, now I have to make 4 different calculations at maximum. And I feel like that would be too much. I think that would be a step too far. Yeah, like I was workshopping a bunch of different alternate ideas in my head, and I'm like, you know what? Each one of them would add far more complexity, especially once you get further in the game and more layers of difficulty and challenge are added in. So honestly, I'm kind of at a loss of how to make it better. There are ideas, yeah. I think maybe the easiest one. I mean, you could put the equations in the blue circles if you took out like 1, maybe 2 of the choices. Yeah. Because I feel like having to do 4 calculations in your head that's just too much. But the fact is, you can now completely ignore the whole concept of the enemy putting up a defense by just going for the largest one. By just going for the largest one. Yeah. Or maybe put the solution number in the blue circles instead of just the highest number. So you want to actually solve the equation rather than overpower it. That could work. But that would change the whole goal of the entire battle system, not just for this one equation section. I wonder if you could put 2 equations in the red, like greater than 10 plus 3 and less than 15 plus 7 or something. So you want to put a target window of numbers rather than just the one that's greater than the other. That could also work. But again, that's putting in some extra steps than simply comparing the numbers. So again, I don't think there is a right solution here. So I'm cautious about suggesting changes. And I'm willing to bet that Barry noticed this as well, because you can't invent and code like complex systems like this without noticing that big flaw. So I don't know, maybe it's due to time constraints or whatever, but yeah, this was not properly addressed. Which sucks, because this is a really imaginative and inventive battle system that I've never seen handled like in RPG Maker before. So it kind of sucks that there is something so, like such a huge flaw in it. Hold on, I see something up ahead, and that one looks different from the rest. Wait, this tormented soul, could it be? So, that bastard really brought him here. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. This soul is your younger brother, isn't it? That's right, Sasori Fujishiro. He was killed alongside me, but his soul instead remains here in this Naraku by the Tama's will. Tamenobu wants to break me so that no vestiges of my will remain, but this choice only strengthened my resolve. So what are we going to do about him? He's not going to be sane just by beating him up, clearly. And if we purify him, he's going to be sent off to the afterlife's procession. In addition, unlike the rest of his souls, I sense that his soul is tightly tethered to Tamenobu's domain more strongly than the rest. It is not going to be as easy to purify him unlike the others. I will use a part of my sacred energy to purify his existence and release the grip from Tamenobu's hands. But the issue lies in the fact that Tamenobu expects this and would create countermeasures to prevent me from doing so. As long as my energy is the one he detects, he will be able to negate any attempts. Yeah, using math and battle system is, in my opinion, pretty cool. How to say this? It's beyond my fucking hell. Yeah, it's beyond our expectations. I might be able to restore his energy as well. Perhaps using the Megiddo that's inside of me. Because I'm an unknown to him, it's possible that using my own spiritual resonance can disrupt his flow. Because he's never dealt with me before until now. By the way, Nova, are you playing the game alphabetically? I am, because I'm very lazy, and I don't feel like mixing things up. So yeah, I'm just going... I have the list that I was given in alphabetical order. I'm just going down the list. Yeah. Not that it should matter, because remember, I'm not playing every single game here. I'm playing... Like, every game is going to get 2 judges assigned to it. And if I don't play your game, that doesn't necessarily mean that I didn't want to talk about it. It could just mean that I didn't get it. And I highly doubt, even with the jewel amping his abilities up, he'll be able to factor me using anything like you do. I gotta read that again. I highly doubt, even with the jewel amping his abilities up, he'll be able to factor me using anything like you do. He would think I'm just some average Oni brute. What? Okay. I presume this is a new technique you've learned after defeating me and my Ototo, then. Yes. Using your sacred power and my Megiddo energy could synchronize his soul enough to override Taminobu's influence. But we will need to exceed his will. Then let us show him both the will of his strength and... let us show him both the will of his strengthened suffering sister and the Black Magnum's ultimate might. Very well. Let's get started then. Alright, boss fight. Let's go. Select difficulty. This one has a time limit. And there we go. So, the first 3 fights, tutorial fights, kind of help you get used to the system. Now, we add another layer. Complexity. A time limit. No, I'm not doing Hawk mode either. I did not do Hawk mode at all. For any of the fights. Any of the mini games here. What is this feeling of miasma? Crap. I remember your brother deals with poisons, right? Is he using his technique against us? This is bad. We're on the clock then. We must hurry. Alright, simple enough. But unfortunately, the game has been given away. So all you really have to do is just pick the highest number. You don't even need to look at the other ones. You don't even need to look at the one I'm comparing it to. It really does suck, though. Like, that it does hamper my experience, but I still think the ingenuity of this battle system should not go ignored. Besides, this is not the only minigame that we're going to deal with, so... Whoops. So, yeah. Oh, right, yeah, I forgot. We can use a skill to heal. Yeah, there we go. That's what I like to see. Just don't mess up. Yeah. His shriek is disrupting the purification flow. It's adapting just like the other spirits. No, I won't lose to you here, Ototo-san. I'll break through this bastard's curse from you. Where's the timer? On the right. So the right is my health. You see the Magatama on the right there? Before that drained only when I made a mistake. Now it's constantly draining. That's the timer. You can see it's going down now. What's this one? Reduce enemy... Yeah, okay. Whoops. But yeah. I'm just going through and... You know, I actually have no idea what the, like how easy the Hawk mode would be. Has anyone actually played this game on Hawk mode just to let me know, like, what it's like? Because I can understand wanting an easier time. Because, yeah, there's... Like, until you figure out this trick, if you're actually playing the game the way it was intended, yeah, I can see how this would be... How this would get pretty complicated. But, yeah. We're getting close. There's some lucidity in him. We can surpass his curse. Another equation. We're going to have to really focus on finding the superior number. No, we won't. No math shall stand in my way. Not even this. Yeah, again, just pick the biggest number. I feel like this would, or maybe rather than making a bigger number, perhaps it would be better if you could pick the number that was the closest to the equation. Like trying to, like you can justify that in the story by matching their resonance. That way you wouldn't be able, because remember the goal is to get the player to compare their, I'm on a time limit, I need to stop yapping. Remember the goal is to get players to compare the choices that you have here with what's on the red plate. And you just simply don't need to do that when your objective is to get the number that's bigger than the other one. Damn it. And I think that's the best fix that can go for it, because it requires the, in my opinion, granted, I don't know how this is going on behind the hood, but yeah, it requires the least amount of disruption to the game flow, while still retaining, like, satisfying the goal of getting you to compare the numbers. Nah. But yeah, it's just the way that it is right now. Just, bleh. Also, it really doesn't help that every time you press a number, you only get like, what is it, like 1-2%? Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask. Almost makes me want to know like how this works on Dove difficulty. Like, do you get 0.5% every time you get one right? Because that sounds like that'd be a mess. Whoops, I knew that was not the best one. Like Price is Right? Yeah, I think so. Nova, king of math. No math will stop Nova. He is supreme math nerd. Ouch. Yeah. Yeah, Fujisaki-chan, you won't win. No. No. Damn it. Is there no other way? Is this what's going to be the expected outcome? To lose to him? You're laying it on really thick there, Barry. Really thick. That Taminobu is just toying with us. He gave a sliver of hope only to wrest control back using the jewel's power. I don't like what I'm going to say to her, but she's going to have to make this decision for him. Fujisaki Fujishiro, I'm going to ask you this seriously. I have a way to completely negate the curse entirely by amplifying my Megiddo output even further beyond alongside your sacred energy. This will set your brother free, but I'm warning you right now. I use this, there's no telling what after effects will happen. I'm pretty sure after effects is one word in this context. For all I know, he might turn out even worse than you thought. You still want to go through with it? Do it. I'm not going to lose my last revenant of connection to this scum. As you wish. Now, focus your energy. We'll do this together. Fine. And then this is the easiest minigame. Press up, okay? It's just wait until it gets higher. Again, it's a brand new concept, so I understand the need to do it on an easy, controlled setting, but man, there really is no challenge to this part at all. But hey, we'll just see what happens when it, later. Or maybe not, because I don't plan on streaming this entire game on stream. Because I want you guys to check these games out for yourself. And if you disagree with my opinion, then great. I would like for you to voice that. Preferably on the game page. Because yeah, Barry's definitely going to get my feedback here, but I would like to get more perspective on it as well. You have two options: die and be forgotten, or live and be reborn beyond your expectations. Make your choice. Time is of the essence. What kind of options are those? If the options are to live and to die, I obviously want to live. I see. Then I shall inherit you, my splice of my being onto you. Now live your new life. Ah. Good job not having shot every time someone says expectations. Patter, that will kill you. Like, you will be dead within the hour. Ototo-san, you're awake. Ne-san? Thank goodness. And here I thought you'd never wake up. I didn't think I'd be seeing you again. I thought you were dead too. I still am, but you were still tormented by Tabenobu, so I had to purify you. I see. Hey, wait a second. Is that... Hey, kid. Isn't that the Oni samurai from back then? The Black Magnum? Why is he here, Ne-san? I do have respect for Barry doing all his own art. 100%. Absolutely. Listen, say what you will about the game. The fact that all these assets... I'm assuming... Okay, you know, these are characters that existed before, so I don't know which assets were recycled for this game. No judgments either way. But I know there's obviously some new assets drawn here. And the fact that all that was done, plus the backgrounds, these CGs, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Massive respect for that. Yeah. Can I get a smooch in chat for Barry? Absolutely. Everyone give Barry some smooches. Long story. I'll tell you all about it later. Hey, I have to ask, why do you look at me so nervously? Did I do something wrong? Look at your hands. What about my hands? Sorry, I had to do that. This was the first line that legit got a laugh out of me. Probably would have had better timing if like this whole box was automated. You had this part right here. What about my hand? And then cut to the scene right there. What are you capturing me for, Rhyme? I'm not caught. What are you talking about? But yeah, this genuinely got a laugh out of me. Good job. Why am I blue? What's going on here? I need a mirror. I turned into a yokai? Why? How? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to completely purify you. So I had Kuronigozo, now named Chromiko. Brodun turned into a furry. He was forced to turn into a furry by his sister. Yeah, that sounds super bad out of context, but yeah, it's the truth. To use his Megiddo powers on overdrive to set you free. As a result, well, because you're injected with Oni energy, you've lost traces of your human skin in the traces? Okay, yeah, he's got a humanoid form, but wow. I think that's more than just traces that he lost. So I'm this Nezu yokai thing. Nezu yokai means rat mouse. Then just say rat mouse. Like rat or mouse. Like this is one of those things where it's like I always listen, I get it. Right? When you're clearly doing a Japanese influenced area, like dialect. So this feels like a game that was like the dialogue reads like a Japanese game that was translated to English. I have no idea what native language Barry speaks. Never spoken to the person. Never interacted with the person at all. Never even seen posts by the person. I'm just basing what I've seen off the dialogue here, but there are some hints. Yeah. Nova emailed Nintendo for 15 years telling them to rename Pikachu to Electric Mouse. Yeah, right. I mean, that's different, right? Like, because that's a name. That's not the same thing. But, like, it always bothers me when English text suddenly starts talking like they're Japanese. I get it when you're trying to emulate, like, the Japan style. Like, I get it. In games like Persona, where they refer to each other with, like, Japanese-style honorifics, I get that. Understandable. But when you just start saying, hey, hang on, I think I can show it to you here. And don't blame Kroko for this. It wasn't for his aid. You had been tormented even further by Taminobu, and your soul would be possessed. I didn't want to lose you yet. All according to Keikaku? Yeah, pretty much that. Like, using Japanese names when you don't need to. That rubs me the wrong way. But, yeah. I think that's more just a personal preference. And for what it's worth, I didn't knock any points off the game because of that. Because that is just my personal preference. But it doesn't seem like he's that torn about it. Yeah, weebs tend to do it a lot. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna call Barry a weeb because again, I don't know anything about Barry, and I'm just talking about the game as it is right here. I'm not trying to make any kind of judgments on the person at all. It just always gets on my nerves whenever I see that in games. No, I mean that's usually where I see it. Yeah, I know, but it's rough. Like I don't want to unintentionally like call somebody like names because that's not what we're about here. I must confess though, I thought you would just be set free and not be brought back to life again. Chromeco's Megiddo is certainly something else. Should I make a game like Danganronpa? Hey, Fake Coffee, welcome in. Sure, make whatever game you want. What do you mean by make a game like Danganronpa? Yeah, I should have thought on that bit before I sent. You're right. I understand. Like, it's a Twitch chat, John Erico. Like, I'm not expecting like fully thought out essays. Like, I'm not expecting like I know. I used to be like that, right? I used to be like terrified of everything I posted online because I was like, wait, could this be interpreted the wrong way? And I was trying to like water down my language and my feelings a lot whenever I was posting. Over time, that just got way too exhausting. I was just like, fuck it. I'll just say what I want to say. And if I cause any misunderstandings, I'll apologize and then try and correct the record. But yeah, I completely get it. So yeah, don't worry about it. So no problems, no issues here, is what I'm trying to say. No, that's fine. I'll live with this. Wow, he is very quick to accept that body. But hey, not that I'm complaining. Honestly, I was such a weakling. I let myself get caught by Taminobu and Nesan and had to see me suffer. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you're saying and Nesan, it was like, yeah. It would be hard to correct your record when you get too big. Oh, don't worry. If I get too big, I'll just delete the channel. If I ever get 10,000 followers, I'm just gonna nuke this whole channel and be like, nope, I'm too big. Nope, not gonna happen. Instead of visual novel, I tried to make it fully randomized. Variables and switches proved to be a hassle. Wait, what? Huh? What are you guys talking about? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're talking about Danganronpa-like game. Yeah. No! No! Okay, well, now I have to. Thank you, Rhyme, for immortalizing that. I know you've got a lot on your mind with all these new developments, but we need to move. Taminobu might have noticed our presence by now. You've probably have questions about me and our current situation too. We'll give you a rundown as we proceed, so we should mosey on out of this stratum. Yeah, that's some busted English there. I have to agree with him. I'm sorry for forcing you to spring into action so soon, but we can't waste this chance. Right, I can move. Let's go. And if you can't tell from the files there, he's going to get his own Ronin Warrior's armor. Alright. Wait, this is... It's our old home base. Honestly, is he planning to catch us off guard using nostalgia or something? I know you're going through a lot right now, having your entire world upside down and must be having huge body dysmorphia, but like, get over yourself. We got math. We got math to do. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I mean, credit to Sasori here. Like, he's pretty quick on the uptake. I mean, granted, again, I don't know how common something like this is in this world. Because again, like, this is clearly one part of a much larger mythos, the Barry mythos. So, I know literally nothing about this world, so if characters here are not that surprised about something, I can only just assume that that's commonplace in this world. I mean, we're talking about a world where where a Ronin orc has retired and now owns crab meat companies, seafood companies, is a seafood company conglomerate. I gotta be honest, I'm far more interested in that story than I am what's going on here. Like, how in the hell do you go from an orc Ronin to a seafood conglomerate owner? That is a story worth telling to me. Like, in contrast, like, what we're doing right now feels really tame and really basic. It doesn't matter now. As far as I'm concerned, this house is long gone now in the real world. I see. What's this? It has my name on it. Seems like this box is for me. What is this thing? Whoa. Yeah! Ronin Warrior transformation. Let's go! Apparently this was the character we're all supposed to care about because this is the one that got the long transformation. Oh, ads are here. 6 ads? Holy crap. But how long are those ads? Well, I guess you can't even hear me right now. But how long are those ads? Like, I'm seeing here ad break ends in 43 seconds. Like, if you can play 6 ads in 43 seconds, that would be kind of... 3 minutes! Wow. Definitely not what I, Definitely not what I expected. That's 18 minutes? I mean... That's assuming how long... Wait, 3 minutes per ad? No, that can't be right. 3 minutes per ad? That doesn't make any sense. Man, if that's the case... Shit. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Per ad break ended. Alright, sound off when if you just came back from an ad break. I gotta know how this works over on Twitch's end. Okay, I'm back. Okay, there we go. So 6 ads definitely was just 45 seconds total. Yeah, there's no way that was 3 minutes. Also, Looney, you have the subscriber mark. There's no way that you actually have... Yeah, there's no way that you have 3 minutes of ads. Yeah. Alright, that's weird. I forgot how long it was already. Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. I wish... If it were up to me, I would straight up turn off all ads, because I didn't... They were like 15 seconds... Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Well, sorry about that. I just give myself a Yoroi, just like Chromiko-san and Nason? Whoa. So cool and golden and shiny. It fits my build to a T, too. How convenient. Apparently he's the death guy, because that's a skull. That's the motif that they wanted to show, huh? Rat with a skull. Death rat. Well, this is unexpected. Don't take a shot just yet. You didn't actually say the words. Though I'm genuinely shocked that you didn't say the words. So shiny and so comfy. Wow, I'm not sure how to feel about this. This Yoroi signature and design. It's an Oni Yoroi. Doesn't seem like it's Tamenobu's handiwork or even anyone I know. Though this begs the question, why did Tamenobu left this for us? If anything, giving Sasori demon armor like this would be detrimental to his plans. Perhaps this wasn't left by him, and after screening the area, I sense that this place doesn't seem to radiate any dangerous entities. If it's not him, then who could it even be? I don't know, but whomever it is, I thank you for this awesome blessing. Now I have one just like Nei-san. Frankly, I suppose it's best that you gain a set of protective armor as well. At least you're not going to be completely vulnerable. Are you saying my base form isn't giving me a boost in power or something, Nei-san? I didn't mean it like that. Clearly, this is quite the enigma. But the best thing to do is just leave this matter for now and progress onward. Yeah, forget about your body dysmorphia. You have Ronin Warrior's armor now. Is this the first stage? I don't remember Nova selecting another node. No, it's automatic. There's no stage select. That first one that we picked, that puts you in the entry point to a story. Yeah. Chromo-kun Sanchan is right. Okay, look, it's clearly Japanese. I can deal with the honorifics. That I'm not upset about at all. But it's just like when you call your sister Nei-san, I'm just like, Right. I'll make sure to use this newfound power to help you out, Tamenobu. We're back in the arena again. And is that a tea set? The Fujishiro siblings are back. Albeit one of them is no longer human. And then an Oni as well. How fascinating. An apparition. Violence isn't going to work on him. His outfit screams high-class authoritarian, and likely our roadblock to Tamenobu's domain. You're the Black Magnum, right? Sugaru Tamenobu-sama was able to figure you out. It's a pleasure meeting the Oni that faced the Fujishiros and remained victorious. Should be emerged victorious. Although I am more fascinated by the fact that you were the 4 Oni warlord that... Hold up. Let me read that one again. I am more fascinated by the fact that you were the 4 Oni warlords of Onigashima, while the other one, Akarambo, is in the Emerald Field. Okay, that reads like you're saying that our orc man was the entirety of the 4 Oni warlords. What? Hey, how goes jam judging? Going pretty well. But no, we're not judging right now. These highlights are just that, highlights. I'm not too... I don't want to be judging games on stream. Because, I mean, we've all seen how long I can yap, so... Yeah, we're just talking about games that already stood out to me. So this domain and the one Arakambo went are linked. Those who serve this domain have access to the other one based on what he said. I would be concerned that he's aware of what my past occupation was, but considering that the proprietor of the jewel can warp spirits and reality, gathering intel on my Onigashima on my Onigashima activities isn't really much of an issue. I am known as Baramatsu. Tamenobu-sama hired me to essentially buy him some time. In other words, you're not really on his side at all. Your loyalty is bought. Indeed, he is my shogun. By proxy, I'm simply just advocating for his wishes. He has paid an initial fee for my empire's expansion. Which means he's negotiable. I think there might be a non-violent solution to all this. Oh, look at him taking the initiative to go for non-violent solutions. Baramatsu needs a white feather fan? Yeah, fair enough. You would sell yourself to that bastard? Nope. He simply pays me well. I just follow the bigger fish. Considering he's nothing more than an apparition, he'll just recover quickly in ad infinitum. But I have a plan. I've been preparing for circumstances like these in the realm beyond. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to negotiate for your services. And how would you proceed with such negotiations, Black Magnum? Give me the rates that Tamanobu paid for your conscription. I'll exceed those numbers and pay you more. Wait, what? Why are you negotiating with him? I see what you're planning here, Kromko. How devious. You know, again, while I appreciate that we're deviating from the norm, like we're not actually having RPG battles in the way that we know them, we're storming a spirit world in samurai armor, and we're looking for non-violent solutions to this. There's a disconnect here that's really thrown me off, which granted is perfectly in line with the theme of Beyond Expectations, but wow. Definitely not what I expected. I don't know. Why don't you and I discuss the finer details then? Oh ho ho. Your words do not ring hollow then. Very well. I shall humor you. Let us discuss over a nice cup of tea, shall we? I've got a seafood offering of my own too, if you don't mind. Not at all. Now let us not waste any more time and begin. Right. Select difficulty, negotiations battle. Oh, really? Oh, you're not going to tell me which difficulty to choose? You're not going to tell me what I should do as a judge? Well, good. Fine. Hawk ignores exchange rates. All assets fixed at 25% at 45 number. Yeah. The thing is, I appreciate the explanation, but boy, this doesn't tell me anything for an initial playthrough. But hey, if you failed and wanted to go back and try it again, then I guess these difficulties make sense. And you know what? I appreciate this. So listen, while I don't appreciate being told what difficulty I should select, I do appreciate that these modes actually tell you what is different about them. And so I think that's great, and more games should do that. Because we played some games, not specifically for this jam, but in the past we're just like, hey, here's a bunch of difficulty levels. Pick one. I'm just like, dude, I don't know which ones I should take. So now you're telling me exactly what these difficulties are going to do, and that really helps me a lot more to make an informed decision. So again, I'm going to pick the same mode that I picked when I played this during my judging. Crow. So, what sort of currency would you like for me to hand you with? For convenience's sake, let us use the 3 imperial regalias as the asset currency, namely the Magatama, the Mirror Yata, and the Kusanagi blade. Your goal is simple. Make sure all 3 stocks of assets are superior to mine. I want you all to remember that one. All 3 stocks of assets are superior to mine. Alright. I've taken the liberty to convert whatever assets you own into these 3 sectors using an intuitive exchange rate. It's less cumbersome on your end. Oh no, they are becoming businessmen. Well, that is perfectly in theme with this guy's background as a seafood conglomerate. I think this is perfectly in character with him. Honestly, you could stay in character with this guy if you decided to go with negotiations or if you went for RPG battles. You know, that's the flexibility that you get when you have a character with this kind of background. And that's without knowing exactly where he came from. So, I think this is smart. And because Barry decided to go with the negotiations aspect instead of the RPG battles, and instead of reusing the same kind of battle mechanics that we've already used before, that ensures that gameplay is kept varied, which is great. I appreciate the aid. Yeah, assuming that this guy's exchange rates can even be trusted. In truth, he has the authority to hand out any exchange rate as he pleases, meaning at some periods, some assets will have weaker exchange rates than others. Meaning I gotta be wise with how I distribute my assets with the allocated stocks. I generally have 10 of these crab assets. I can place these into one of these stocks. Although, my Megiddo's concepts in this realm are flexible. I can actually haggle the asset values infinitely using the Megiddo's power without him knowing. Using the face. Throwing in faces. Should his assets prove too difficult for the exchange rate, using that could be an option. I could also have Fujisaki and Sasori influence the enemy values as well. Their effects are displayed on the HUD. They might turn the tide immensely. Just pay attention to the exchange rate and pick the right stocks to trade his assets with. Alright, now if I remember correctly, me asset value by 5, yeah. Pay and get, yeah. Let's see if I can replicate this. So, exchange rate, 1 crab is 5 Magatama. So I gotta get higher than 17. It's just, yeah, right there. And now I gotta get higher than the mirror. There we go. And then now I gotta get higher than the blade. It didn't work. Unfortunately, your assets are quite inferior, I'm afraid. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's try it again. Now it's 42, 43, 43. And then it's 6, 3, 9. Wow. You know, that's interesting, because I actually remember my first time going through this, I think something got bugged or something, because I was able to pass without actually having all these assets superior to the ones on the left. I may have tried, there may have been some weirdness with the combination of skills and whatnot that I used that made it possible, but does not seem to be the case right now. Alright, so let's just go. 20, 44, 41. Reduce enemy asset value by 5. Okay. There we are. And bam. What about this? Pay 2, get plus Y for the next asset. Okay. I don't think I need that for 16. We have that. Alright, and then boom. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Wait, what do you think you're doing? Oh, whoops. Maybe I shouldn't test my luck anymore. Alright, well. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so that's the problem. I don't know exactly what happened, but the objective of the game, the objective of this minigame was to have all these assets higher than the enemies. Clearly, that did not happen here. I don't know which of these skills screwed that up, but yeah, that's busted. What the hell? Oh, that was weird. I was moving my mouse over here and suddenly the effects were showing up. Yeah. Okay, well, let's see if this happens again now. Oh, and it happened again. Yeah, this is a bug that I encountered in my own playthrough. As you can see, this is clearly broken. But, hey, doesn't matter to me personally. Because I would rather see people take risks and it not work out than play it safe and come up with something boring. Look at that. None of them were even... Oh, man. Is this really a bug, though? Remember, the objective of this game is to get all of my assets to have a higher value than the ones on the left. In this round, literally none of them were. And I'm still winning. Yeah, I'm calling this a bug. Yeah, that's a shame. That is a real shame. See? Yeah. Well, well, I'm impressed. You exceeded my lofty expectations. I suppose... There it is. Take a shot. You exceeded my lofty expectations. I suppose my services are yours now. How is it possible? How could your wealth exceed even the amethyst's will? Sweet Kami-sama. Again, this is very much a Keikaku moment. Sweet Kami-sama. God. I didn't know the Black Magnum is this loaded. Maybe the dev forgot to reset the value at the beginning of the round? Possible. It's possible. And yeah, while this would definitely take a hit to polish, I still think the concept and the design of this game was good enough to give it the rating that I gave it. So, again, not going to tell you the actual rating. But I value that more than I value playing it safe. Also, when I look at the game as a whole package, little bugs like that really don't bother me that much. I think there's more to like here than like one little mistake. And also, it didn't end my game. Like, it didn't crash. So that alone, kept me going. You'd be surprised, Ototo. I've seen his 20 seafood factories under his property before I met him in person. All professionally led and managed. He has how many factories? I guess my gut was right on the money this time. Tamanobu hasn't fully mastered the jewel's full potential. Meaning that his influence hasn't fully... You're saying fully a lot. Hasn't fully capable of outwitting mine yet. He was cooking all them crabs from the last game, yeah. From your perspective, you're the ones who follow the bigger bidder, and the odds are 50-50. So who are you going to bet on? Serving Tamanobu and risk losing the amethyst's benefits? Or betray him and get all this from my pocket? I thought you were nothing more than a ronin with no proprietary of any value. Perhaps I underestimated you. You could say that you were... Yeah. Your impressions of me aren't what you expect then? Thought I was just a lowly servant of the old Enma-sama? That and more so. Fine then. I'll put in my wager on you. I'll open the path to his domain. Sweet Amaterasu! He managed to conclude this business transaction without getting violent. Although I must say, my expectations exceeded with you as well, Fujisaki Fushiro. You would think that you would harbor hatred towards me. Especially since I followed your, to put it mildly, abuser. Don't get me wrong, I do, but meaningless revenge is a pointless endeavor. And you think Tamanobu deserves your wrath? I was able to commune with this whole when I died, and he gave me all I needed to hear for myself. And who is this him? Could it be your husband? Not another word. As I suspected, talking about love with her is a sore subject, clearly. I'd best keep quiet. Ne-san, he's in a better place now. Don't worry. And besides, torturing you is far too cumbersome. I don't have the resources or the time for it. Because you were given borrowed time, yes? What? Now, stop wasting our time. I might change my mind if you're delaying things with all this talk. What a frightening woman. The gate is now open. He is waiting for you up ahead. Take care, Fujishiro siblings and Black Magnum. And with that, we're actually going to stop here. Because, again, I would actually rather finish up early and then judge a couple more games tonight. I haven't judged any games tonight. I want to at least get 1 or 2 games in. So, again, I encourage everybody to play these games for yourself. To see the end. And give feedback on them. Because, my opinion will determine the scores. But it's your opinions. And your opinions... what is it? But more opinions that come Barry's way, the better. And that's true for all the games. So yeah, we're gonna end it here, and yeah, that will be it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just skip that last one. I may put it on the next one on the list, but yeah. So, just closing thoughts. Art, great. I love that all this was custom. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this back on the screen here. Yeah, I love that all this was custom, and Barry put in tremendous work in making something that was already going to fit the theme of Beyond Expectations. Very, very well done. So don't be scared. Don't be scared about it. You've already deviated so far from the normal format. You don't need to keep putting in Beyond Expectations in the dialogue. Because that just tells me that you're scared that we might not pick up on the theme. I can tell you right now, you're fine. I like the concept of the berry first, but it requires to know a lot of context. Welcome to the Trails Dilemma, Looney. I have a very love-hate relationship with the Trails games. I feel like my biggest problem with them is that, they have some very dumb decisions when it comes to writing. But in general, my opinion of the Trails games is that with one or two exceptions, they put so much effort to connect the games with each other that each individual game suffers as a result. And I kind of feel that same thing going on here. Because while it's true, there are a lot of connections between this game and the others, I feel like this wasn't the best place for me to jump into the Berryverse. Because here I am trying to judge everything. I'm trying to judge the story, the context I'm trying to judge the story that you're trying to tell. And knowing that I'm lacking the context is going to affect my experience. And not in a good way. I started with Cold Steel and I was fine. I also felt like I was missing some things. I also started with Cold Steel. And I think that Cold Steel was probably my least favorite out of all of them. Because they just spent so much time building up the world that there wasn't much of a plot at all. There wasn't much of a reason for me to keep going in those games. I don't know. I honestly don't know how I managed to get through. But yeah. So the game tries so many different things. I think you need to be more confident in what you're trying to do with your gameplay mechanics. You can let the game speak for itself when it comes to interpreting the theme. So going back to the world building, I think it would have... Listen, I'm just talking from a Jam's perspective. Ultimately, it's up to the dev to decide what kind of story that they want to tell. But it would be... This is just a suggestion, and I'm just kind of talking out of my ass here, but I feel like it would have been a better intro for me as a newcomer to this series to see it from the lens of a new character. You can have your character, you can bring in characters from the old games into this game, not a problem. But a Jam is going to have a lot of people who have not been a part of the Berryverse jumping into this game. And following the perspective of a character that is also new to the series will help serve as a proxy for other new players to jump in. And so that also gives you the excuse that you need to fill in players on some missing gaps in the story. And you can only fill players in on gaps that are relevant to the game itself. So you can follow the Orc Man. I'm sorry. I'm already bad with names, but Japanese names are even harder for me to remember. I'm sorry. It's not like I'm not paying attention. I'm just really bad with names. But the Orc Man, I'm just going to call him Magnum. Because, yeah, that's what he was referred to as. Magnum here. You can have him. You can follow him. You can follow Fuji something. I'm sorry. You can follow the Blue Ranger here. But having somebody to kind of speak for a newcomer, I think would really benefit newcomers. And if you're making a giant world, I don't think the idea of introducing a new character is going to be really that foreign. So, yeah. But without it, I feel like I'm jumping in on a book by opening up halfway and then continuing on. And you know what really doesn't help? The fact that you asked me, the dev, asked me to skip the intro, which means that I would have missed even more context. Like, I'm glad I didn't skip the intro because now I had some basic context for what was going on. Why in the world would the dev want me to skip that? That makes zero sense to me. So yeah, don't tell me what to do don't tell me as a judge what to do, because my first instinct is going to be to do the opposite. And the worst part is, you didn't need to do that. Because I feel like what you have here is already really good. I do what I want, fine, and then I'll do what I want. And you can't stop me, because I'm the one playing the game. Yeah. But I like what you have here. I really do. With some polish, you can make a solid entry. Alright, next time I'll tell you not to beat the game. Yeah, if only it worked that way, Rhyme. So yeah, that's why I wanted to highlight this. I have my issues with it, obviously, but I'm not expecting technical perfection here for a jam game. I'm expecting heart and great ideas. And you know what? I got them both here. So, congratulations, Barry. I think you should be proud of what you've accomplished here. So, with that being said, we are finally going to go ahead and end it for real this time. Alright, how do I get out of this? Alright, there we go. Maybe once I'm done with judging, there are some games that I have on my list here that I'm going to go back and beat. This is one of them, because I want to see what happens at the end. This one, Axol's Quest, Attack on the Curse. Yeah, I want to finish those games. I got a lot of games I need to get through, you know? So, yeah, I need to. I need to keep going. Alright, so with that being said, thank you all so much for dropping by. Let's go find somebody to raid. Who's doing stuff? Who's doing more? You have any other judges that we want to chat with? Nope. Thank you for the stream. Well, thank you all for being here. All right. So let's go. Let's go raid Quizzical Jin. We have not raided her in a while. Yeah. Let's spread the love. Let's do some casual RPG. Okay, looks like she's doing art for her game. So yeah, thank you all so much for dropping by. I really do appreciate that. And I will see you again for Monday, where we continue with the judges' highlights. So hopefully, I'm going to get through a lot more games over the weekend, and I will have a much longer list that I can use to build. Oh, right. Yeah, I need to start the raid. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, I still don't know how to do intros. Or outros, whatever it is. Anyway, yeah, go hang out with Jen, and I will see you all on Monday. Later. Oh, one more thing. The archives for these are going to be up on YouTube. In fact, let me post this in chat. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I don't know how many people even knew that. I forgot about that until recently, because I needed a spot to host my game trailers. But because Twitch is going to be Twitch, I can't save these archives here anymore. So I've offloaded them. I'm going to start offloading them onto YouTube. Nova's YouTube channel? Yes, I have YouTube channel. So let me go grab that thing. And yeah. there I am. And you can now go check out the archives from there. All right. Okay, for real now. Thank you all so much for dropping by, and I will see you all again on Monday. Later.